there's window number 1. Chat window, OBS window, which is going to get hidden. I'll drag that over there in just a second. Here's the questions window. We'll have Discord in just a second. And here's the other Discord window for the questions. Do you remember the last person we asked? Or the last person we answered on here?
No, but
it was way up, right? I think we did 5 on Patreon and 5 on Discord. Wow, that's
that was a long one, yeah.
Maybe we should have like a 5,000 word limit. Okay, we did Assistant Weeby. We did Jormunder.
We didn't do Packet.
Yeah, we didn't do Packet. Alright, so Packet's the first one on Discord, and Kim K is the first one on Patreon. Alright, cool. Alright, I feel like I need to do something. Oh, I need to do text. Okay, current question, no one. Alright, there we go. Alright, so that should be good enough. Alright, so music, is there no music? There should be. Oh, there's no music in this part. Here, I'll put some music on for you guys. 1 second. It's just jukebox streams from now on. That's it. I am become Forzen, destroyer of streams. Look upon my work, gaze upon my streams, be mighty and despair. Oh my god. So, if you weren't here for last stream, we were playing slow snow halation roulette with chat, which is that they kept requesting songs, and it was like Undertale remixes and Country Roads remixes, and every single time I'd be like, is Snow Halation gonna start playing halfway through this? And surprisingly, it was happening quite a bit, and people seem to have fun with that, but I wasn't. You okay?
Yeah, I'm trying to read over there because I was covered over here.
There you go.
And they made it purple, so I thought that must mean it was very important.
On one hand, Q&As are awesome, Sleepy, but on the other, my question is number 6 in line on Discord, and while unlikely, possibly answered today. Hard questions, man. All hail Weave Joe. Sorry, Malevies. Should we have favoritism and just answer Malevies right now? No, that's not what I wanted to do. So this is Jump King, and it's okay. It's not that bad, but it's one of those stream rage games where you're supposed to like have some Schadenfreude about the streamer getting frustrated about the game, and you know me, that doesn't happen around here. Cool as a cucumber all the time. So we're trying to get to the top, and I thought it would be a good Q&A game because I just want to be able to say I beat it, but also it's not really doesn't require all that attention, to be honest. So it's a good choice. The one from the music stream. Exactly. 6.9k coins. Who has the most coins right now?
Was a big reason to play Jump King today because Lili is
Of
here.
course. So I'm really bad at that jump right there, and I'm trying to figure out how to do it easier. I think if I start jumping right before the wind changes, I think it's easier.
I'm just not even gonna watch. I'm just gonna talk to chat.
I feel a bit congested today.
Full attention to chat. Blinders on. Ignorance is bliss.
This is true. Yeah, okay, it seems like start jumping full power right before the wind changes. Like we just did there, but it's wrong. Alright, so full power jump just as the wind changes. No, that was too much. Oh, it was fine, okay. Most anticipated game in 2020? Right now, none of them. I can't even think of other games right now. It's just Witcher. I'm 100% Witcher. Just I can't think of anything else. Oh my god, that was close. Like, I'm gonna like maybe like Hollow Knight 2 or like Silksong or something. I don't know. I foresee the first AI redeemed today. That already happened. Dark Flashes already did it. No. Dark Flashes made me dab. The first was Samuel Aguera was the first person who did an AI cash in. It wasn't Dark Flashes.
Can't stay for the stream because an early day tomorrow. Get to the babe, Joe.
But Lily's already here.
Aww.
I missed it. Yeah, you missed it. As a one-time special, I allowed I took 1 million coins off the list because to celebrate. And who knows, maybe because of that, maybe next time someone's redeems one, I'll take less off the list than I'm supposed to. Hoo. Am I evil? A little bit.
Where do you think Finn gets it from?
A little bit evil. Finn is pretty evil, yeah. Okay, we're gonna hit the ceiling here again.
I am willing to pay whatever you want for you to be always happy and without worries. Also 24/7 snow halation streams.
Aw, thank you, Zeph98. That would make me happy. 24/7 snow halation streams.
Children do have a strong tendency to mimic role model C.
Snow halation is a weird phrase. Wow, that's not what I wanted to do.
Joe, are you aware that Crosscode is getting DLC this year?
Nope, I wasn't aware of that. Is it a continuation or is it just kind of gameplay DLC? I know it already got some updates, but I wasn't aware of that for Crosscode now. That could be fun.
What game are you planning to stream after Disco Elysium?
Probably one of the Promise games, because I think when Disco Elysium is done, so will the video. Unless I'm grossly estimating how much Disco Elysium is left. This is really annoying.
Post chapter?
Post chapter for Crosscode? Okay. Well, I hope it continues the story a little bit. Did you play Shadow of Mordor War? No, I haven't. No. Maybe we'll play that on stream some point.
They just recently released a NG Plus thing for CrossCode and planning to do more in 2020. Well, you play Xenoblade 10 and Xenoblade Chronicles, or is it X? I don't
It's
know.
X.
And Xenoblade Chronicles 2 DLC.
Probably not the Xenoblade Chronicles 2 DLC. I'm not really interested in that. I hear it's not cringy at all. And if it's not cringy, what's the point? Xenoblade Chronicles X and Xenoblade Chronicles 1, yeah, maybe. Oh my god. The snow is so awkward. It's like you never know if like, should you be jumping straight up, letting the snow carry you, or what?
Do you slide on it?
No, but you can't move in the snow. Like the wind was blowing you from left to right. It's pretty awkward. I feel like this should be a lot easier than it is, but it's not. It's really annoying. No music this time ever again, right? We might do it once a year. Maybe after New Year's we'll do a music stream, and people can prepare their snow elation bait bullshit. Like I have fun, but I'm not sure if we're actually allowed to do what we did. Like the whole point of playing music on streams and everything, and with copyright claims, is that you can say, well, it's not a recreation of listening to that music experience. You know what I mean? Like it's part of the game or whatever. And then just going on YouTube and just playing music is like, no, we're just listening to music together. So like that's not fair use anymore. So I'd rather not risk it often, but maybe once a year we can do it. Oh my god.
You're allowed but not allowed to exchange music for bits.
Yeah, but it also ruins the VODs going up on YouTube, and I like doing that even though I'm way behind on it.
Favorite movie director?
I don't really have one.
Do you have a favorite genre of game, least favorite?
Least favorite would probably be sports games, then maybe racing games. Not really a big fan of those, although there are exceptions, but yeah, not really a big fan. Favorite, probably action games with in-depth combat systems. It depends though, like something about the Devil May Cry series, I find that it's a little bit too loose. It's a little too much built on just kicking the enemy's ass and just stringing combos together. I feel like there's not enough of a struggle in Devil May Cry, and I feel like a lot of fans of Devil May Cry oversell that, you know, like, oh, the game can be as difficult as you want it to be because you're just stringing combos together. Well, you can do that in almost any game, although that game has way more depth to it than most. I don't know, I just prefer games to have like really in-depth combat systems but also be a struggle to win, whereas that's just not the case with Devil May Cry. Like Devil May Cry, like I think Devil May Cry 5, what did I only die like 3 times when I played it, or was it even less than that? I can't remember. Oh well, the last boss, I didn't understand how to do the last boss, but that was me being stupid. Maybe I died more than that, I can't remember, but I mean, it didn't seem that tough to me.
Marriage Story is very good. Check it out on Netflix if you guys want.
But then there's like people who are just criticizing the hell out of me in comments and stuff, saying that I'm really terrible at the game because I don't do like high level fucking combos and everything, even though it's my first time playing it, right? Apparently I'm supposed to know and remember every single skill combo that was in the last 4 games because I played them before. It's just kind of weird. Like Devil May Cry fans are kind of weird about that series. I don't think they're very fair about it. But I would prefer something like overall I prefer the combat in like Souls-likes, and I prefer probably Metal Gear Rising to Devil May Cry. I'm not sure where Devil May Cry 5 sits because I haven't played it enough. But I'm also going to say that maybe I prefer Bayonetta. I'm not sure. Like Devil May Cry 5 was really good. Like, don't get me wrong. I really enjoyed it. And I used to be a very big fan of that series. I still probably am a fan, just not a big fan anymore. But I've fallen out of love a little bit. So I don't know if I prefer Bayonetta or if I prefer Rising. I have to play them again. Update on the Witcher video. Can we go a stream without that being asked? Can we go a stream? I'm sorry, Lennon. I know you probably haven't been here for the others, but can we just go a stream without that being asked. After this is done, I'm just not gonna say what I'm working on next. That's how it's gonna be from now on. I'm just never gonna bring it up. All videos are gonna be surprises. Oh.
That's what Shammy does. Lily and Joe, I sometimes have trouble naming characters, places, or things in the D&D campaign I'm DMing. Do you have any writing advice or naming conventions to make stuff sound more natural? If you were trying to name something that's fantasy, like, I would look at a name that is already a little bit flamboyant, and I would just kind of mix two together, like twist them around a little bit and see what you get. But that was always more Joe's area than mine, but...
I'm not really good at naming people and characters.
I like names, so that's what I would do to make them a bit more unique. Like, take something like Narcissa and Persephone, and you get like Narsephone or something like that. Like I would just mix things, take pieces from one and mix it with another one. There's a lot of good baby naming sites too. You can go on and you can even put in name generators. I was gonna say you can put in a name and they'll give you other names that are similar in style.
Just to go back to it real quick, like this Shammy, I still think just gets a lot of questions like, what are you working on next though, right? So just be changing that one problem for another. Maybe it's less frustrating though. I don't know. Like a name, I'm pretty bad at names. I don't really put all that much thought into it. If you are gonna put a lot of thought into it, then you need to look at like, okay, what are the influences of the region that you're naming these characters in? You know, is it a Germanic nation? You know, is it supposed to be like something like an alternative Roman Empire, like Nilfgaard and Witcher, like, you know, like things like that. So I think that if you want to put a lot of time into it, you could. Like you it all depends on how much effort you want to put into it. But really, I just like, okay, what's this character's name going to be? And honestly, like the big thing, this is going to sound so immature, but it's really, really, really important to me because it bothers me so much in other media. My biggest thing when it comes to naming characters is that I make sure that the names of many characters are going to be interacting together and going to be in the same story. Number one, don't sound the same, and two, don't start with the same same 2 or 3 letters. You know, if there's like 10 main characters in a story and 4 of them all start with the letter M, then I'm gonna be annoyed as a reader and be like, okay, well, who's this character again? Like just at a glance, it's kind of like, oh yeah, okay, it's this one. And you can get around that if it's important, or if you make the character names longer or whatever. But I try very hard to have the names be distinct. I think that's important. I also don't really care for the Marvel kind of naming convention anymore. Although I do have to admit that sometimes it can be good, which is when a character has a first name and a last name that starts with the same letter, or in like Mad Men, Don Draper. You know what I mean? That sort of thing. And sometimes it can sound good. I actually do like the name Don Draper, but I think it's a little overdone. And you know me, I don't like things that are overdone. I think it's better because you can lie outrageously as an answer than if it's wildly known you never give a real answer. Yeah, I guess so. The next video is on all of the Gothic games. The Witcher videos are a lie. It's all Gothic all the time. It's actually a secret collaboration between me and Mandy. Sorry, Mandy. I let the cat out of the bag, but I still have your dog.
Hey, my first and last names start with the same letter. Are you saying I'm a Marvel protagonist?
Oh, yes, you are. Yeah.
That's exactly.
You just don't know. You just don't know it yet. Gothic sucks though. So does Witcher. Oh, got him. Actually, the video is mostly positive. Video is very, very, very positive, actually. But when it is negative, it hits pretty hard. But it's a good video. I like it so far. It's probably my best work. But I have to say that, don't I? It's quite dense for a video that is as long as it is. I know. I think I'm having a problem with criticism lately, which is that I'm taking it too much to heart. You know, like A lot of people think that I don't take criticism well, which is really not true. I usually really consider all forms of criticism that I get, and one of the biggest ones is that I repeat myself, and I feel like I do that on stream, obviously, but I really don't feel like I repeat myself that much in videos, despite their length. Like, there are some times where I bring some point up later again, but that's because I'm returning to that topic, but I really don't feel like that's fair criticism. But it happens so much that I'm like, maybe it is. Maybe I should work on it. So I've been trying very hard to see if there's any parts in the script and video where I am repeating myself even a little and trying to cut it out. And I don't know if that's a good thing or not, because if I wasn't doing it, maybe it's gonna make the scripts feel a little bit more stilted. I don't know, but I really don't feel like I do repeat myself on stream. Definitely. Look, I just repeat myself like 5 times, but streams are not videos.
Thanks for your Dark Souls videos. You convinced me to play the games recently, and it was one of the best gaming experiences I've ever had.
Oh, cool. Welcome to Dark Souls. I'm glad that you enjoyed it. Repetition drives the point home. Yeah, I feel like a lot of people have... Oh, this is going to sound so fucking arrogant. I'm sorry. I feel like a lot of people, in terms of in video game world, have really poor media comprehension skills, and they don't understand what a lot of videos like mine and Matthew Matosis's and Noah's and King K's and just the usual kind of way more serious video gang. I feel like they don't really understand what those videos are supposed to be, and it's like, oh, if you ever give an example of something that you're supporting in an argument, what are you wasting time for? This is dumb. I get the point already. Move on. It's like no, like it's a persuasive argument. Like, it's supposed to be examples backing it. Like, this is what it's all about. Or if you return to a point later because you have more to expand on it now, because you have gotten to a point in the topic that you have more points to add on to that, and you want to return to it. Why are you wasting time returning to this? You already spoke about this. Like, I feel like people don't, a lot of people in video games, the discourse, don't understand that the video's primary purpose is not to be entertaining. Like, it can be entertaining, and I know there are some people that watch the videos mostly to see what kind of jokes are going to be, which is weird to me, because like if you want to see something that's funny, then first of all, why are you watching me? But secondly, it's like yeah, I do have some jokes, and sometimes I think my jokes land quite well, but they're so few and far between that I just like, they're just supposed to be like a little burst of brevity, but yeah, like the videos are not supposed to be entertaining. Like, they can be, for sure. Like, there is entertainment value in learning something and seeing an argument and engaging with it, but they're not meant to be entertaining purely, or solely, I guess. I don't know what the right word is, and I feel like some people don't understand that, and it's hard to gauge criticism of videos like this, where it's like, okay, well, is this legit? Is this someone that just doesn't understand it? And it's really difficult to find out what criticism is worthy paying attention to. I don't know. Most of the time, what I do is my policy is that if there are examples backing up what they're saying, then okay, then I will take this as like, okay, I can weigh what the argument is, I can weigh where they think it went wrong. But most of the time, when I engage with someone who says that the videos have a lot of repetition, when I ask them, they have no examples, or they just don't answer. So I don't know. I don't know how to judge that. Like, I think that the God of War video is actually one of my best for when it comes to not repeating concepts, and I actually got more of the you're just repeating yourself way more often than usual for that one, so it's hard to tell. Oh shit, that was bad. Sorry, I shouldn't talk about this. It's not very polite, but it can be frustrating.
Hey Joe, have you read The Alchemist? I read it as a kid and had no idea what it was about, and I'm apprehensive about going back to it because I'm years deep into the Witcher books.
I've never heard of The Alchemist, sorry. What's The Alchemist? Chicken soup or mushroom soup? Not a big fan of mushrooms, so chicken soup. Something about mushrooms, eating mushrooms, just doesn't sit right with me. Full Metal Alchemist. Oh, you weeps. Avoiding the topic of whether or not it's a game, how do you like visual novels overall? I think they're fun. Like, yeah, there's nothing wrong with it. The format. It's going to depend on the writing, of course, but yeah, I think they're fine. Oh, that's too far, isn't it? No, maybe it's not, actually. Let's see.
Do you think a combat system like Bloodborne's could work in a game with movement and exploration like Breath of the Wild?
Okay, so we need to go to the left. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I think that could work.
I think you're fine complaining about that stuff. If I were one of those people, I'd try to go point for point to show how you were repeating yourself, but I think you're good. Joe calling the chat weeb, something but pots and kettles comes to mind. That's why I enjoy your style a lot, no disrespect, but sometimes it feels that if you haven't played the game recently, there's no way to follow the argument because they don't give it any examples.
Yeah, that's thank you. That's a big reason why I give examples, and that's a big reason why I do recaps, because like there are people who aren't gonna be watching this video until years and years and years and years after the video comes out. You know, like right now the channel is getting more views than it ever has. You know, right now the channel gets anywhere from 50 to 60,000 views every single day, and that's at a big peak. It's gonna dip down a little bit after this. I don't know why over the holidays sometimes there's like a boost, you know, and a lot of those people are going to be watching these videos on older games and they haven't played them for a long time, or maybe they haven't even played them ever. So it's important to have these examples, but to support your points, but also to recap the events so you're not lost. That's the whole point. Like I want the videos to be timeless in that way. And I don't know, I don't think it's all that frustrating to watch when you are watching it when the game just came out. It's also like baseline, like here's how I understood all these things that happened, and if you understand it in a different way, then hey, now you know where my flaw is coming from, you know. I think it's substantiating your arguments. It's really important. So even if you're wrong, you know, people can still understand it.
Your editing gags are so on point, Pojo. That's been said a few times.
My editing gags?
Yeah, when you're doing your jokes.
Yeah, do you think so? I think my jokes are pretty bad. I have some really bad ones in the Witcher video. I have some really, really bad ones. There's so many good puns. And by good puns, I mean awful puns.
I think your jokes are funny.
I had the best joke ever that I was gonna have in the video, and I cut it. I couldn't get it to work, and it turned out it was too much trouble for 5 seconds of work. And I will tell you guys what it was right now because it's gone. I can't do it. But this was the best joke, and it was like a unique joke. Like no one else would ever be. Well, hardly anyone else would ever be in this position to do it. No, I can't do it. It's already done. So I've said it before. When I started the video, or like way back when I started the video, I stopped cutting my hair. I stopped cutting my hair and I stopped shaving. So for a long time I had this really long hair, and I had a really long beard, and I still do have quite a long beard, and my hair isn't short right now, but I did cut my hair a couple months ago. So the plan was, if I could pull it off, depending on how long the video took, was I was going to there was going to be a part in the video where I was going to say, all right, now we've played the games. Now I've played all the games. Now I'm going to record this, and I'm going to go read all the books now, and then I'm going to play the games again, and then I'm going to come back and continue the video. It's going to be on camera. Like I was going to record myself doing this, and I was going to have because Lili was pregnant at this point, and I was going to be like, okay, and I was going to have the newborn baby in my hands as I was saying it, and then I was going to just hard cut to okay, I've read all the books and played all the games again, and now instead of having the newborn baby in my hand, I have one of the boys who's much bigger, and I'm going to pass it off as the newborn baby, and now my hair is really long and my beard is really long, because when I recorded the first scene, it was like I recorded the first scene second, like it was after I cut all my hair and I have the baby in my head, and then I just record the second scene first with all my hair and beard really long, and it's like, okay, now I'm done, and here's my really long beard and my hair, and the kid is just gigantic in my lap, but it just wasn't worth the trouble. Like it was too much trouble to set up like the recording thing, and I've never recorded something like that before, and like it was just like for my rule for jokes is that they can't take up too much time and they can't take too much time in the video. I really wanted to do it, and maybe I can still do some of it kind of like in another video later on, but it was just too much work and it was too much trouble. But I was like, that was the joke I really wanted to do, and I thought it would have been great. But yeah, that was I was disappointed when I couldn't do that. But yeah, That was my joke. Someone who sincerely likes bad jokes has integrity. You can't say no. Any jokes you think viewers would have taken too far that you're actually tired of? I don't know. I don't think so. I think that I run jokes into the ground too. So I think that we're as bad as each other in that respect. Like the Leon thing, I ran into the ground along with chat. Yeah, we've run into the ground now. I don't know actually. Maybe useless. Oh, here we go. All right, we're gonna be seeing the bottom of the level. Yeah, here we go. It's how the game gets you, because you don't remember all the little timings of all the little parts of the level when you fall, and then there's like a big danger of you just going on a big spiral, and then you get really, really angry. But not me though. Cool as a cucumber. Yeah, here we go.
When did the yeah shit start?
I don't know when the shit started.
Wasn't that long ago, was
Yeah,
it?
that's fairly recent actually. I hate this jump. I think this jump is actually probably the only jump, and like there's DLC of this, right, where there's different things to climb, I'm guessing. I think this jump is the only one in this level that we've seen so far that's actually unfair. I think this jump is bullshit. Getting into this hole, I think it's complete bullshit. Everything else is fine. Like, it's frustrating, but it's fine. I think that's complete bullshit.
Is Yoko Taro a genius or insane?
Don't know enough about Yoko Taro to know about that.
I just wanted to mention that I have been eagerly waiting for you to stream the Zero Escape trilogy and AI since the Danganronpa streams. I love those VNs, and I hope you will too.
We're gonna be streaming AI and maybe Zero Escape this year. I don't know. Maybe. I'm a little nervous about streaming Zero Escape because of how the escape room went in Danganronpa 2. I didn't understand part of it. There was a puzzle that was binary, and I didn't understand that application of binary, which led to quite a frustrating moment in chat where, like, I said, I know what binary is, and everyone was like, well, you clearly don't, because you don't do the puzzles. Like, I know what binary is, I just don't know this application of binary. You know, like, it was confusing for me. And I am worried that Zero Escape is going to be just that, like, for the whole game, and that can be frustrating. But that's part of the trade-off of being a streamer, is that people get to see you struggle. It's just that when it comes to puzzles, I feel like chat can be the most obnoxious, you know? Even people that have been around for a while and I generally get along with and like, and it's like whenever they're in chat, I'm like, oh, cool, like, I'm glad you're here, you know, like, you're someone I know and you're usually very nice in chat. Even they can turn into, like, colossal dickheads when it comes to puzzles in chat. It's weird. So not me. You're okay, Pink Asparagus. Unless... Yeah, draw a T, yeah. Like, suddenly everyone forgets the saying, you know, cross your T's and dot your I's. Just the whole world, like, no, that's not a thing. Just the whole world. Oh, cool, we got up here. All right, nice. All right. Anyway, should we probably start with the questions? I wanted to start the questions right away, but then we get roped into just talking and answering things here with people, which is fine. I'm okay with that, but yeah. We can't go too late today. Left, right? Yeah.
Well, we started late too, so...
Yeah, but we're always gonna start late because of the kids.
I know. I'm just
Always,
saying.
always, always. What game would you say is your favorite combat overall? I have no idea. I don't know. Like, I really like Devil May Cry 5's combat system. I really like Sekiro's combat system. I really like Metal Gear Rising. I really like Crosscode. You know, like Crosscode is easily probably. I want to say probably, but then I say easily too. I don't know. Like, I haven't really thought about it much, but Crosscode probably top for like 2D games. I really like the simplicity of Hollow Knight's combat system. You know, like I feel like you can get through that quite well, and there's a lot of choices and hidden complexity in that. But I don't know if I have a favorite overall. I don't really think about ranking games in that way. It's fine if you do, but I don't really think of the games that way. Flex says Flexin. Flex. Anyway, Libel, can you see this list over here?
I think so, yeah.
Okay, so can you say thank you to people starting from Ingvar Fed, and then once you get to the top, let me know, and I will scroll up.
So, thank you to Ingvar Fed, who resubscribed with Prime for 23 months. Thank you to Jason Kim, who resubscribed with Prime for 24 months. Thank you to Hibdary? I can't see that one.
Hibidary, I think.
Hibidary. Who resubscribed for 3 months in a row and says, "Hey Joe, since you've mentioned it during Fallen Order, Jedi Knight, right?
Yeah.
Jedi Academy playthrough with ultra-realistic saber settings turned on when?"
Is that a mod or is that a setting in the game? I can't remember. I remember the lightsabers in those games being quite realistic. I know that there were some enemies that needed more than one hit to kill with lightsaber, but I do remember some duels where I feel like I got one really good solid hit on the enemy and they just died in one hit. Those games are fun. It's been a long time since I played them. I'd like to go back to them, sure.
Thank you to Moana, who resubscribed for 26 months in a row and says Pog. Thank you to Firebug170, who resubscribed for 4 months in a row and says 5-5 time to jive. And sour please.
Is it sour please or sour plus?
I don't know. Thank you to Unpossible Car, who resubscribed for 5 months with Prime. Thank you to Causey N, who used 50 bits and says, "Did you enjoy Jump King style games, or is that a dumb question?"
I think I do enjoy them. I don't think I would be continue playing this if I didn't enjoy it. Like there's some part of me that enjoys this, although I think getting over it is better.
Thank you to Roarbird, I think.
Yeah.
Who used 35 bits and says, "Staying up researching my insomnia and Tourette's. Kinda bumming me out and I need a distraction. Here's the rest of my bits. Looking forward to a fun Q&A." Sorry you're bummed out. Just remember that, when you research things like that, it's easy to jump to like the worst case, right? That like everything's awful, and there's so many variations and stuff on stuff that you might be diagnosed with or have and stuff, right? That it's not always necessarily as bad as it looks, so.
And it's also when you do research like that, sometimes it can be you start to think that this is all you are, like you just become the diagnosis, and you're more than that. You're a person first, right? And that goes for anyone with any disorder. I have to remind myself of that sometimes.
Me too. Thank you to Ralph Clogs, who resubscribed for 23 months in a row and says, "What do you call a man leaving a Spanish hospital?" Manuel.
That's pretty good.
Thank you to Blobfish2000, who resubscribed for 26 months and says, "So where's the video for the classic 2000 crime drama, The Watcher?"
I've never heard that before. Thank you, Blobfish.
Thank you to Instaboner, who resubscribed with Prime for 7 months. Hard to compete with an Instaboner.
Exactly.
Thank you to Talisman G1, who resubscribed for 23 months in a row and says, "Persona 5 Royale stream when?"
Sometime this year. I don't know when, but sometime this year. We're going to be playing all the Persona games this year, and Persona 5 Royal will be at the end of them. So I don't know. I'm going to say sometime in summer at the earliest, with all the stream commitments that we have at the moment.
Thank you to Mark Sapan, who resubscribed with Prime for 17 months and says, "Hey, you two, how often do you think about or revise your moral axioms?"
Probably not as much as I should. You know, I'm not really someone who's into that and thinks a lot about that. I came to a conclusion about this sort of thing a long time ago, which was that, you know, like, and it hasn't really changed, which is that as long as you're not hurting anybody and you're not preventing anyone else from seeking their happiness within a reasonable extent, you know, like if you're in line at the store and someone's behind you, like, I don't think you should have to let them go ahead of you, because otherwise you're preventing their happiness. You know what I mean? Like within a reasonable level. I think whatever you're doing is fine, and there's nothing morally wrong with what you're doing. You know, just basically a fancy way of just saying, like, don't hurt other people, and if something that someone is doing, you know, like, you also want to be able to judge other people to make sure that people are also morally good. Is that you want to, like, look at the things and be like, okay, well, is anyone hurting anybody by what they're doing here? And if the answer is no, then it's like, okay, well, then even though it may seem very really important to me, like, it shouldn't happen, you know. And there are some topics that are difficult to justify with that, but they're pretty rare. But that's how I think. I don't really think about this much anymore. I used to think about this stuff all the time when I was younger. When I was in my teens.
Thank you to Octavian430, who subscribed with Prime. Thank you to Nadia, who resubscribed with Prime for 20 months in a row and says thanks for the 20 months of waifu chants.
Ooh. Who's your favorite? Nadia? Is it Nadia?
I don't know.
Nadia?
I say Nadia. I don't know if I'm saying it right.
Who's your
Maybe
favorite
it's
chant?
Nadia.
Who's your favorite stream chant? I can't do this jump consistently. I'm so bad at this jump. By all Persona games, do you mean Persona 1 through 5 or 3 and 5? We might try 1 and 2 as well, but I don't think we're going to finish them. You think children has made you rethink moral stuff, Joe? I don't think so. It's made me view the world in a different way, because it's weird to have created a person out of pretty much nothing. It's kind of fucks with you a little bit. I know it should be a well done moment, but it's just really the opposite experience of having a parent die. My mom's dead, so and my mom died like way before we had kids. So it's like you see a parent who is there and was a big part of your life, and then they're just gone, and it's like, what? Where did they go? You know, like, I know that sounds so juvenile, but that really is where a lot of the angst comes from when it comes to death. And it's just like, how is this person just gone? And then you have a kid, and you look at the kid. Usually for me, it was almost instantly. You look at the kid, you have the kid in your arms, and it's like, where did you come from? You know, like, what? Like, how is there just another person? But I don't think I've like realigned any of the morals or beliefs that I have. I'm not sure. The biggest change for me is that I'm very, very susceptible to anything that has like media that has the death of kids in it now. Just very, very, it just wrecks me. Anything to do with a kid dying or getting hurt or anything like that, I'm just destroyed. So that's a change for me.
So they said hard J. So Nadja, I guess. And Bandage Chan.
Bandage Chan, wow, interesting choice. Nadja has said that to us before, and we have forgotten.
I know. You know what it is? It's like, I'm not sure if it's ya or ja, and I'm not sure if it's nod or node.
You know what we should call him? We should just call him Ja Rule. Or Nod Ja Rule.
Nod Ja Rule. You said this last time, and I laughed then too.
Did I?
And yeah, you did, and I remember laughing at it before too.
Wow.
We said it. I hate you.
That's okay, Ja. So God of War is your favorite game now? No, I don't think so. Although, you know, I don't know. I don't think I get much benefit out of there being like positive experiences with kids in video games. I don't know. But when it comes to like negative experiences, I don't know. It has to be at a certain level of realism, I guess. I don't know. I don't know. Who's next on the list?
Is it neurality or neurality? I can't see from here very well.
Neurality, I think.
Thanks for all the great Thank you to Neurality, who resubscribed for 3 months and says, thanks for all the great content. Here's to a new decade of memes and waifus.
Thank you very much, Neurality.
And thank you to Pikatan. 659, I think, who resubscribed for 4 months in a row and says, I'm sorry if you get asked these things often, but I just binged a few VOD series. And I was wondering if you still plan to play Catherine full body at some point.
Probably. But I don't know. Okay, so is this, sorry to interrupt the thing. Is this a checkpoint now? Like, are we safe? Because it looks like we can never fall, right? Maybe there's gonna be like a wall up here and that just sends you all the way back down to the bottom. Huh. Alright, cool. So we've made progression, everybody. Congrats to us.
And thank you to C. Murlo, who subscribed with Prime just now. Thank you very much.
Thank you much, C. Murlo.
What? Oh, sorry. Clawfist.
This seems quite difficult.
Oh, it's not that hard to say clawfist. It's just you have to really like put your whole mood into it, you know?
No, the game. Oh, you were doing a thing. All right, well done. Usually I'm the one that does that to you.
Got him.
Got him. The rare Lili troll.
See, mine are more effective because I just slip them in there every now and then.
That's what she said.
Mm-hmm. They're not expected, so they're that much more effective. Take notes.
All right, Lily Chan. Let's go to the first question from. Let's go Discord this time. Let's go Discord.
For packet?
If that's there. So let's update the thing, OBS. KH, right? Yep, there it is. Okay, there we go.
So Packet says, hey Lily and Joe. I've been a fan ever since you appeared on the Co-optional podcast. Thank you so much for all the great videos and streams. I'm really looking forward to the P5 Royal streams. First question, if you could send a letter back in time to your old self, what are the 2 to 3 tips regarding video creation and streaming that you would send? Not just about anything, about video creation and streaming.
So video creation and streaming. All right, so this is a tough question for me to answer because I'm not a good learner. So the way, okay, so that's not entirely true. I think that the way I learn is good for me, but it's not that efficient, and there are definitely better ways of learning things. So I know this is gonna sound weird, but the way I do things is already like I've capped out. This is how I am. I'm stuck in my ways. I'm dug in, and I'm never gonna change. Like I'm the old dog now when it comes to these things, and that is I need to just jump into something and just feel it out. Like I'm not the kind of person that can take take a lot of value from tutorials. You know, I need to be able to figure this out for myself through just experience. So if I went back in time and I was able to give myself some tips, I would probably just be so overwhelmed by all the tips that I would just say, you know, future me, fuck off. When it comes to video production and streaming. I mean, I guess there are some minor things I could say, like things like how to get rid of the clipping in the audio. Maybe just like tell my past self that, you know, you should start trying to mess around with some video techniques and some fancy transitions sooner than I really started. But like, I mean, I did try to do that even from the first video. There are some fades in and fades out, and some attempt at clips matching each other from different themes of what I'm trying to go for in the video. Like that has been something I've always tried to do. I just I'm not very good at it. I still don't think I'm all that great at it, but yeah, I that's on the video production side. Like, definitely the clipping one, because audio clipping is really annoying and it makes me not like some of the older videos that I have. But yeah, like I said, the way that I learn things is just kind of is just bad, but it works for me. So I don't think I could give myself much advice. For streaming, I'm sure there's a bunch of little technical things that I could tell myself. Again, kind of like the clipping thing, you know, like the problems with bitrate on OBS and how to set it up properly. And it just until recently, I didn't even know you could put text on the screen. That's what we have on the screen right now when answering the questions, you know, like little things like that. But I'm always just kind of learning as I feel stuff out. I think it would just be more about just telling my past self that it's okay to be myself on these things, that it's all right to be a little bit of a spaz, you know, and like people are going to be accepting of that, and you shouldn't really worry. I think that's one thing that's not really part of the production, though. It's about presenting myself in a better way. I think that's something that I think I would get some value out of. And from hearing from, you know, my own self. I don't have a really good answer for this. I'm sorry. Packet. I think it's because it's specifically about video production and everything. If you're talking about like script writing and as well, and it's not just the video editing part, like I could probably give you some more examples there. You know, like I've gotten a little better at that, and I've learned some lessons about that. But
well, maybe you could talk about the script writing, because it's still part of making a video, right?
I mean, it's video creation, not streaming. Well, let's instead focus on you know, being yourself. Like you should be, unless you're terrible, you should be yourself. like no, you should try to be yourself to a certain extent, right? Like you shouldn't be a completely open book, and you shouldn't be completely like shameless and be like, well, that's just how I am. If you can't handle me at my worst, you don't deserve me at my best, kind of bullshit. You know what I mean? Like, you do need to be more considerate about that sort of thing and how you come across, and you do want to be like in all human interaction, you want to be at least a little calculating, just for the sake of the other person. You know, you don't want to come across as rude. You don't want to upset anybody. You should always consider everything that you say before you say it, unless you're me on a Q&A stream. But at the same time, you do want to be yourself. We recently got through this stage where we're still kind of in it, actually, but I think we're finally seeing the other side, where the de facto voice in writing was to sound like a stuffy old like white British person, right? That's what you wanted to be. That's what most writing was, you know. That's what the writing voice that everyone was supposed to aim to, especially when I was a kid. I don't know how it is right now, but you want to sound like that. And now we're finally at the point now where that's kind of like no, you want to have your own kind of voice. You want to bring your own personality to your writing, even if that comes at the cost of it making complete sense, you know. There was until fairly recently this focus on, you know, the Oxford English, this is how it should be, and all writing should come from this place of authority and have the same kind of tone, and that's just complete bullshit. And to some extent, I feel like video making can fall into the same kind of trap, and you don't want to you don't want to be you don't want to sound like everyone else. You want to sound like you, but at the same time, when you're starting, you might want to emulate someone that you look up to. Like when I started, I was looking to Super Bunny Hop, Matthew Matosis, and Mr. B-Tongue. And if you go back and you see those first videos, you can see like considerable pieces of all three of those in my content. But right, making a video is really hard. Like it's really easy for me now. Like I know what I'm doing for the most part. You know, like I've got a lot of experience under my belt now. I know you know, like how to put videos together. But like you don't understand. Like when you first make a video, maybe you do understand if you've ever tried. Like you don't understand. Like when you do get into the first like putting your video together for the first time, and you're like you're just sitting there in the video editor. I mean, it's like a lot of people have trouble when it comes to writing because they just stare at the word processor, and they just look at that blinking cursor and they're like, what the fuck do I do? I thought this was going to be way easier than it was. You know, everyone knows how to write. I know how to write. I've been writing my whole life. Why can't I write this? Like it's like that, except there is none of that in the back of your head saying, hey, you should be able to do this. You're running your own life. Because like no one's made a video until they made a video. As stupid as that sounds, right? So it's an unusual position to be in. Most people don't make videos, surprisingly enough. So it's very understandable that when you're first starting out that you're going to want to be taking things from other people that have made videos before and being like, okay, well, how did they do it? Let's follow this kind of the path that people have made before me. But I think that as soon as you can, you should embrace your own style and your own voice, and you should try to make it your own. And there's nothing more annoying, I find, than watching someone on YouTube and they do like a bit or a stylized thing, and you're just like, wow, I know exactly where you got this from, you know? Like it's really irritating to see anyone copy the angry video game nerd. And of course, this is more annoying when it's really specific. So there are things that are very general that you can't, like, no one has the rights to, like having a mostly serious outlook on games and discussing them mostly seriously. Like no one can own the rights to that. Whereas a specific skit that some people do is kind of like, oh, okay, well, they kind of made that their own and you're just kind of copying that. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. For streaming, it's... For streaming, I think the biggest lesson I've learned recently is that you want to embrace the interactive audience part of it. You want to not shy away from that. You want to be able to have this back and forth with your audience, and you want to be able to build off of them and have them shape the content. We've spoken about this twice on stream before, so forgive the repetition, but streaming is a unique, I'm not going to call it art because I don't think streams are art. I think they can be art. I just don't think that the way that I do streams are art. But they are a unique medium, let's say, in that there's nothing else like it where the audience shapes the content. Of course, the audience always shapes the content in some respect in all mediums. You know, if they don't like something, then they're not gonna get more of it, for the most part. But streaming is a live collaboration between the performer and the audience, and the audience is encouraged to interact with the performer, and it's sort of like a stand-up comedy thing where heckling is encouraged and even a part of it, and the performer needs to get used to the heckling. I think that streamers that don't interact with their audience aren't really using the medium to their fullest, and that's easy for me to say when I'm not a small streamer anymore, but I would say I'm a medium streamer. Do you guys think that's fair? Like I'm not a big streamer, I'm not a mega streamer. I would, but I'm not a small streamer either. I would say, like, what would be the translation? Like a C-lister, like a C-list streamer, you know, like, so like it's easy for me to say as a C-lister, hey, you should interact with your audience, you know, all the time, when I don't have so many people like just shouting at me the whole time whenever I stream. Like at that point, chat becomes impossible to interact with. But I I think that is part of the medium that you should try to keep up with. I think once you get to that point, maybe you should turn chat to sub only mode, so you can keep the interaction with comparatively the same audience that you had before. As much as I don't like having something like that paywalled, I feel like that might be the best answer to keep streams where they should be, or where I think that they should be. But yeah, so embrace that, whatever it turns out that your audience likes and whatever you are comfortable with doing with your audience. I think that the danger here is that you can take that too far. Like I think that perhaps the whole fake weeb thing, and as I said, that there's gonna be a lot of people in chat being like, fake, what are you talking about? Like the whole fake weeb thing and the whole like let's dive into weebish culture as a complete outsider. I think that may go a little too far sometimes. I feel like that can get a little tiring. But I do think it is something that's interesting in our streams that I don't want to let go, but I think sometimes it can go a little too far. So as always, it's a balance. Sorry that I can't give you a really good answer to this, Packet, but that's how I feel at the moment. I guess the other one would be don't. Okay, again, like I consider my success to be mostly luck, so I can't. I feel like a fraud. Here's the imposter syndrome. When people are asking me for advice, I feel like I should always say don't. You shouldn't listen to me. Like I just lucked my way here. That it just so happened that the No Man's Sky video hit at the right time with just the amazing ending that happened to me in that video, and it just so happened that a bunch of people who watched that actually got to the end really early on when they watched that video and started sharing it. You need to watch this video to see the end, you know. And then YouTube's algorithm started just by chance picking up the Witness video and picking up the Fallout 4 video, you know. Like I mean, like I just feel like it's complete luck. And maybe if we could boil it down scientifically, maybe we could look at it and go, well, it's not actually luck, Joe. The reason why people like that video is because it's a good video, and that's why it did well. And the reason why, you know, the YouTube algorithm picked up the Witness and the Fallout 4 videos because they're good videos. It's not luck. You just did a good job. And I just, like, I don't know, I guess I just don't have the self-confidence to just own that and be like, yeah, fuck yeah, I did it. Like when I look at that, I just think, okay, I just got really, really lucky. No one should listen to me. Like that's honestly really how I feel. So what I want to say to you is that you should have the confidence to just make whatever content that you want, and that you'll get there eventually. Like I wanted to really make long form content. That's what I wanted to do. Every single time that I've made it like a really, really short video, unless it's a topic that I really wanted to cover real quick, it's been sort of like, this isn't really what I want to do, but let's do it anyway because you know, I want to try and make short form content to appease people, and not every game needs it, but I really just want to focus on the long form stuff. I want to be able to say to you, yeah, just have the confidence to do that and just do it. But like maybe if I had done that, maybe you guys wouldn't be here right now. Maybe the channel would still be sitting at 20,000 subs or something, you know. I mean, that's where I would have capped out. So I don't know. I feel like that's not a fair thing to say. So I don't know. At the same time though, I do think that in terms of us like furthering the discussion of art as a society, I do think that as like a society, as a species, we live in a society that we would benefit way more if people just did what they really want to do, and we would get way more value out of that. That's what I think, but that's a hard sell, and it just sounds fucking terrible coming from someone who has already made it, you know. So I don't know, but yeah, that's all I can say. That's all I can say. Did Packet have another question?
Second question. If when you decide to start making videos and streams, what do you see yourself doing for a living?
Well, I'm disabled, so but it's a disabled that makes me again feel like I should never say that I'm disabled, because I can like live my life just fine. It's just I'm disabled in terms of like a proper job. Like I can't work a proper job. I used to be able to, but like my narcolepsy has gotten worse. Like I can't do that because I can't keep a schedule. Like you've probably noticed that sometimes when I stream, I'm like close to dying, like falling asleep. The case in point, like I got up just a couple hours before this stream. Like I can't keep a proper schedule. Like if we were in this is funny.
Packet says also you can answer your dream job too for this one.
Okay, it's funny saying this because of the whole weeb thing. If we were living in Japan, Japan has many jobs that have what's called flex time, where you can. It doesn't matter when you get into the office. It just matters that when you do get in the office, that you work your shift and then you just go home. I could work that job easy, you know, like that's fine. That would be great. But when there's like most of the jobs in our society over here is that you have a set time to come in, and if you don't make it in on that time, fuck you. You know, like you're just awful. You're just the worst person. And I can't do that because of narcolepsy. You know, there are times where I'm drifting. I think that like I can't stay to a 24-hour schedule, and Lily can attest to this. I'm either on an 18-day schedule or I'm on a 36-day schedule. So that
hour, right?
Hour. So I'm on an 18-hour schedule or I'm on a 36-hour schedule, and this, like, those are my days, and the 24-hour days just don't work for me. I'm either awake for 12 hours and then I sleep for around 6, and then I wake up and I'm awake for 12 hours and I sleep for around 6, or I'm awake for 24 hours and I sleep for 10 to 12 hours after that. That's how I best function, and that means I'm constantly drifting between the two of them. There are also times where I just don't sleep for a long time either, or I'm awake for 24 hours, I go to bed, and then I'm just asleep for a couple hours, and then I wake up and I can't fall back to sleep, you know, that sort of thing. So like I'm very lucky that I get to do this, but like I did work normal jobs before the writing and before the channel, but it was very difficult for me to keep a schedule, and it was very, very taxing on me, and school in particular was trouble too, because I've been narcoleptic my whole life. So if I wasn't doing this, I'd probably find something else that I could do on my own time from home, and I like if it's just like a normal job that I don't get to take anything away from what I'm doing with the audience that I built for this one. I would probably try to get into programming. That's what I would try to do. So it would be some sort of coding. I don't know if I would try to get into games dev and just be a coder for a game, or if it'd be web development or anything like that. I don't know. I don't even know if if that's as viable an option as it used to be. Like there used to be so many jobs in that area. I'm guessing there's probably less now, but I don't know enough. But yeah, that sort of thing. If I can take my audience with me, like if I stop streaming and I stop making the videos and I could go do whatever with that audience, then I would probably use whatever resources that we have left over to make a game and try to go into game dev. And that's my dream job as well, to answer the question. I would very much like to be making games, and if that didn't work, or if it didn't have the resources to do it, then I would probably go back to writing things. Like I would go back to writing books and use the audience I have to just make it by. I think that there were enough people that would get the books that I would be able to make it. Yeah. I hear the game related jobs suck. Yeah, they can, but my dream job would be to be the director. You know, like to run the company, decide what games we're making. And not treat my employees like shit. That's what I would like to do. Oh man, where are we going? Oh, is this ice now? Oh boy, alright. Are we close to the end? No, it needs to be a higher jump than that. That's a hard jump to do, man.
By making games, you mean visual novels with art by Merrick, right?
I think a visual novel with all of our chans, I think, would be quite fun. I don't know. Not treat my employees like shit. You never make it as a game dev. Maybe. I don't think so. I think that you can make a company and not exploit your workers. Do you know what company apparently doesn't exploit their workers? Apparently EA. Like I think they do have. I have read in the past that maybe they do like mass firings between projects. I can't remember, but apparently, like when it comes to crunch and treating their companies really, really well, apparently EA is one of the best companies to work for. There's another big company like that I can't remember right now. Apparently, like a lot of this, I think Ubisoft as well. I think Ubisoft is again another company where there's not a lot of crunch, and the employees are treated very well, and they have a lot of benefits and a lot of opportunity to move up in the company and everything. Like I'm this is secondhand information. It's just from what I've been reading, and there's been in the comments there've been a lot of people that work for those companies that confirm, be like, yeah, this is actually a really good company to work for. Yeah,
my coworker used to work for EA. It's honestly not that bad.
Yeah, so yeah, I don't know.
EA does mass firing.
Yeah, but okay, I don't know enough about business to comment on this, but is that really so bad? Like when Blizzard, like, okay, so it depends on how it's done. So when Blizzard did a mass firing that they did, I think last year or whatever, like that got really like a lot of like bad press, and they're like, what the fuck, Blizzard, what are you doing? And then you read more about it and you find out that they actually had like there was significant benefits for the people that they were laying off. They had like a job fair thing where they were helping people who were getting laid off to find other jobs in the industry. Like, you know, they really helped their employees that they were letting go. Like they helped them out, and at the same time, it's like you look at it and you think of all these companies that are overextending themselves and have too big production teams, and that's one of the big criticism that I have, that I think a lot of these companies are mismanaged, and their teams are just way too bloated and big. And isn't that just like preventing that in the long term? The opposite side is that you're like, okay, well, these companies are reporting record profits, so they shouldn't have to do this sort of thing, and that's fair. But at the same time, if they're letting them go with severance packages, and they just want to downsize the company a little bit, and they feel like they've grown too big, like I just see that like again, you don't know all the details, but I see that as kind of responsible business running, isn't it? Like I feel like I don't know all the details about what EA does, but the Blizzard one in particular was like, and this has come from someone who really doesn't like Blizzard, the Blizzard one seemed pretty fucking benign to me, and yet Blizzard got fucking like just dragged through the mud over that. So like I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what's right there. But it's okay. The Joey Anderson company will never get into that position because we will only ever have 5 employees max. It'll be me, Lili, Finn,
I better play more video games.
If I have a video game company, what should we call it, chat? While you give suggestions, let's go to the next person on Discord.
Should we thank a few people?
Oh, sure, go for it. Yeah.
If I can see, because is that still Discord if it has a 5 in it?
Yeah.
Thank you to Discord, who resubscribed for 11 months in a row and says, "Hey Joe, I was playing Animal Crossing the other day and learned that they added a zoo. Unfortunately, building it bankrupted my town, so our zoo is only able to afford 1 tour guide. It was a Shih Tzu." Thank you, Discord. Well done.
Well done. Well done.
Thank you to Setson, who resubscribed with Prime for 3 months in a row and says 20 months already. Did I read that wrong? Oh, 20 total. Sorry. 20 total months.
It's 20 months. You go with the total, not with the...
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's what we go for here.
20 months already. Thanks for everything.
Thank you, Setsun. What were the suggestions in chat? Pancake, Datapon Entertainment, Bubba, Ass Eaters, Company Chan, Chapel Perilous Productions, Almost Masterpieces, Dragon Den, Gamer Den, Andy Joe Show, Andersoft, Anderson and Father, Cringe Chan, Joe and Weeds. It's pretty funny.
Pickle Dynamics Limited.
Anyway, who's next? Water Guy?
Water Guy. The Water Guy.
The Water Guy.
The Water Guy says, "Hello, Joe and Lily. Hope things are good as always. Question 1. There's a content creator named Weast.
Never heard of him.
I think it's Weast.
Weast.
Most of his content isn't that important to the question, but one of his videos talks about stan culture. To summarize, if you haven't seen it, a stan is a toxic, obsessive fan, the kind of fan to message you something like, 'Respond or I'll kill myself.' To the meat of the question, have you or Lily had any toxic, obsessive fans yourself, without giving away any identifying information? What were they like? Do you have any concerns about having any in the future? If you have seen the video in question, what do you think what Weast had to say?"
I've never heard of Weast. I haven't seen this video. Sorry. So Stan comes from the Eminem song Stan, and it is replaced fan. So fan. Some people might not know this because fan is such a ubiquitous term in our society now. Fan is short for fanatic, which is weird because this new stan is just like someone who stands you and is like that would be a fanatic, right? Like, so I guess stan is short for stanatic. Like, I don't know, but yeah. So fans and stans should be the same thing. I don't really like the term stan because I feel like, again, fan is already there, but like that battle's been won and fought and won before I even heard the term. So stan is here to stay.
I feel like I always hear or see stand when I see it, so it's like
you think of JoJo?
And no, I feel like when I read it, I see something stand. I feel like they can't stand, like they can't stand you. Like it has like a negative kind of. Is that just me? Do you ever feel like that? Do you ever do that?
Yeah,
I see
guess
stand.
so. Yeah.
I don't know why my mind goes to stand. Anyway, continue.
There's the people named Stan. Yeah, so I'm not really that big of a fan of it. I was recently watching, last time I was watching the new ContraPoints video, and she uses Stan in that, and I just don't like the term, but whatever. Maybe I'm just being a fucking boomer. Anyway, so I feel that. That is something that a lot of people have to deal with. I don't think that I've ever had to deal with it. I don't think I've ever had a stan. I don't think I've ever had a toxic, obsessive fan. There have been some people that message me like quite a lot, and there have been some people that have messaged me, and this is sort of why I don't like to answer a lot of my messages, or it's not why. It's why I didn't like answering a lot of my messages for a while. Now there's just so many that I just can't do it. But there was a time where I was able to answer all of my messages, but I didn't want to, because what would happen very commonly, and this is gonna sound really bad of me, but I'm sorry, it's just I only have a certain amount of time in the day, but I would like answer someone's message, and because I answered the message, I would just get a Bible just sent at me, just so much text because I answered. It's like, oh, he answered, all right, time to unload. And it would just be like, oh my god, dude, like I cannot, like I can't even begin to read all this, never mind answer it. So like I don't think they're wrong for doing that, but it's just I feel so bad when I answer and then I get this huge thing. I'm like I just can't. I just like if I do this, then I'm just gonna spend like half of my time every single week just answering messages, and I just can't do it. Yeah, so I think that's the closest I've gotten to it. But yeah, I don't think I've ever had a stan, or yeah. How does that song go at the beginning?
Stardust part.
We're out of Benadryl. What? We're out of Benadryl?
Makes so much more sense now. I don't know. I've never had a stan either, you know. Like, I don't know why I would, but this is more Joe's show than mine. But at the same time, I do have a lot of people messaging me that are mentally struggling. And I worry sometimes about the things that I say, how it's going to come across. I feel like some of them become a little bit too dependent sometimes. It's like I've become a counselor to some of these people now, and I'm not qualified, and I never wanted to be a counselor. But I feel like I can't cut myself off because they don't have anybody, and so I'm getting messages every day, and I have to try and keep up with them, because if I don't answer enough times, then maybe they're going to feel like I'm dropping them, and that's not what you want someone who's suicidal to think. So I've kind of gotten myself in a delicate situation with a few people where they're messaging all the time, and they're sometimes they're not too bad, but other times they're extremely desperate sounding, and I don't really see how I can really help. But at the same time, they say I am helping, so I have to just kind of run with it and just hope I don't make it worse, and hope that they get strong enough and get through it enough that they don't need me so much anymore, that they can stand on their own. I don't mind hearing from people every once in a while, and I don't mind an update like, oh, I was really struggling, and now I'm not, I'm doing so much better. But I don't get a whole lot of those ones. I usually just get, I was doing better last week, and this week I want to kill myself. Fix me, Lily. And it's like, I have Kate on my lap and I'm feeding her, and I have the kids in the background, and I'm trying to quickly and yet delicately think of how I want to word what I want to say while I'm typing one-handed, and it's not a good situation like that. It's like so much potential to put your foot in something that you shouldn't put your foot in, and at the same time I feel like I can't say no and I can't disentangle because that might just send the wrong message, so no stands, but not ideal.
If your name is Stan, then I suggest that you just lean hard into that on Tinder, man. Like, I'll be your Stan. Just do it. Just own it. Like, you're gonna have to put up with this shit anyway. Just own it. That's what I think.
Oh, I direct them to professionals constantly, and they have professionals, a lot of them, and a lot of them are on medication too. They just don't have enough people in their social lives that they can lean on, and that's apparently what I've become is, I'm constantly saying, talk to your friend or talk to your mom or talk to somebody, talk to somebody who's there that can actually do something for you. I don't know your real name. I don't know where you are. I can't do anything to help you. But they just want an ear, I think. And it's a very delicate, slippery slope. I feel like they're not saying respond or I'll kill myself, but I feel like if I don't respond, I'm sending that message, that I don't care. And I don't want anyone to feel like I don't care. So I keep responding. And I just hope that I say something that's useful.
Yeah, that's all I have to say. And you keep that completely separate from me, so I have no comments on what you're going through there, Lily. Sorry. Is anyone surprised that there have been no kind of toxic obsessive fans? Like, I don't think so. I think it's probably like that should be expected, considering the kind of very minor e-celeb that I am. Like, I feel like that's like I don't think that should be surprised, right?
Yeah.
You're surprised, really? There hasn't been any? Not about what I would expect. No offense taken. No. That's how it should be. I'll be your toxic fan. So, toxic fans are like, there's an opening. Let's go for it.
I'm kind of surprised. I think I've been conditioned to expect the worst from the internet.
Okay, if we go like all the way to the left. All right, there we go. No, we have to jump. Oh, we have to chain it. Okay. Tough. No, you can't jump to the left either. Wow. Okay, so you have to chain them together in the direction you want to go, I guess. All right. Did the water guy have another question?
We didn't change the question text.
Oh.
Thank you, Firebug. Sorry with the water guy.
Okay,
Fire
so
looking out for
is water guy here? Water guy's not here, right? We would have seen him in chat.
I haven't seen him.
So water guy, if you just came here because you scrolled through the list of your like the stream to see when we answered your question, we started answering it. This is your second question that starts here. We already answered. We just forgot to put your name on the screen because we're just horrible at updating that. Sorry. I feel like the people who watch Answer are generally intelligent enough to realize content creators are human too and know you shouldn't smother them, even if they're a celebrity or someone you want to really look up to. Okay, that's not true. No, but no big toxic fans. No, I think pretty much anyone that's here on the Discord understands that for sure. Yeah, but no, there are plenty of people that are just like who watch this on the comments. Even some regulars that show up on the comments quite a bit. Yeah, they definitely don't see me as a human. They see me as an entity that they can just scream at. So maybe trolls though. Maybe trolls. Is there a term for when you get to the point where you're just expecting trolling so much that you start to dismiss a lot of stuff as trolls when you shouldn't? If there isn't, there should be a term for that. Pose law? Is it pose law? I don't think it's pose law. Maybe. Anyway, what's Water Guy's second question?
What do you think we as consumers can do to help make change in the gaming industry? Microtransactions in AAA games are an easy example. What can consumers do to send a clear message to publishers, developers that can keep pushing these types of monetization schemes? If you feel unable to answer the last question, this is a backup. If you can't answer the last one, skip this question.
Okay. Well, I feel like maybe we should skip it because we answered that last time. I remember someone asked that last time when we were speaking about how I don't think voting with your wallet works. I just think that's complete bullshit. Like the vast majority of people who buy these things and play games aren't part of message boards. They aren't going to be part of boycotts. They aren't going to even know that this sort of thing is happening. They just play the games and are in their kind of isolated world. I don't know how many of the people are in like that. I'm going to guess it's probably that difference is getting smaller and smaller as time goes on. So maybe eventually that kind of thing would work. It seems that with the recent Star Wars fiascos that there has been some change that has taken effect. That it seems like the Rise of Skywalker was a product of what the fuck do I do here? Was a product of responding to people that were really upset about The Last Jedi. So it seems like there has been some difference, even though there was no voting with your wallet there. I don't know. Yeah, I don't think that works. So I think you just need to just make your voice heard and complain and be like, no, this is not acceptable. I'm gonna say that the group that is into microtransactions is probably also has a much higher overlap with the group that that takes part in messaging boards. So maybe not just like collectively deciding not to go after the microtransactions might be a thing. But I feel like the backlash to Battlefront has worked on EA a bit. So maybe just condemning it is enough. I don't know. Like having the poor. I don't know. Again, I don't know enough about business. I have no idea. I don't know. But I feel like that sort of thing doesn't particularly work. No, I don't have much to say on this, Water Guy. Sorry, I really don't. So let's go to the backup question, and we answered that a bit last time.
Would you consider making a video about how you go about creating videos? How you approach games the first, second, or third times through, what exactly you look for in various games, how you gather footage, and editing tips as well. Mandalore has a video on this already, but I would be interested to see your view on it.
Yeah, I was actually going to say Mandalore has already done a video on this, so I don't think I need to. But if people are interested, then maybe it would be worth it. I don't know. Like I feel like it would be pretty boring in how I go through with it. There have been times in the past where I've almost streamed some video creation to see if anyone would get anything out of that. To see to see if anyone would be interested to how I put a video together, but it would also be spoiling the video. And I know that the videos are so few and far between that for many people they become like an event when they finally do come out. So I feel like that would be spoiling some of it. So I don't know if I would ever do that. A video is possible, but it's not something that's high on my list. like a video going through how I make these things, yeah, it's definitely not high on my list. I don't know if it would be all that interesting. Mandalores was pretty good. I know a lot of people got some help out of that. I guess it's possible. I can tell you right now, real quick, how I make the videos. I first of all I pick a topic, and my criteria for picking the topic are: am I going to enjoy the game? I never pick a game that I think I'm gonna hate. If I suspect I'm not gonna like it, but it's in a series that I typically still do like, I will still play it because I feel like that's fair, because I'm a fan of the series. But I never go out of my way to pick a game I think I'm gonna hate. Even Darkest Dungeon, I thought, and No Man's Sky, I thought, okay, I might like this. It doesn't always have to be like I'm really gonna like it. But is the music loud? Tell me if the music's loud. The other two are that I feel like the other two criteria are: do I think people are going to want to hear me speak about this? You know, like is there some amount of market for this? Although that's the lesser one on the three, and the other one is, do I think I'm going to have enough to say about it? Like, am I going to enjoy speaking about this game? Music strong. Okay, let me turn down a little bit. Like, am I going to enjoy? Am I going to have enough interesting things to say about this, and am I going to enjoy making a video about it? After that, I play the games. I record everything that I do when I'm playing the games. I also have to make a decision early on if I'm going to be just playing this one game or if I'm going to be playing other games in the series. If it's a long series, are there going to be other games I'm going to need to play to make references to this game? Like for the Witcher video, I also played all the Mass Effect games. That sort of thing. I didn't play Andromeda though. So like that sort of thing. Like then I just play them all. I record all of my footage, like all the playthroughs. I just start recording all at once. I used to not record my first playthrough because I wanted to have the freedom to just mess around a little bit more and not have to mess up all my footage. And also I didn't have the hard drive space to record all the playthroughs. But that changed, and I had enough hard drive space, and I was starting to get really annoyed when something really like wow happened and I wasn't recording, and I got really angry at myself that I wasn't recording. So now I just record everything. So I record everything, and then after I've done all my playthroughs and I've collected all my footage, I make notes as I go through. For big projects, I will make notes as I go. Like I will just pause the game and I will go to the second computer next to me, and I will write at this time point this happened, or I'll stop recording and say at the end of the clip there's this example. I keep very, very strict notes when it comes to a big project. So for lesser projects, usually I just play and I just remember and I make very general notes. So, but for something like The Witcher, I think that my total notes for the end now, with all 3 games, Thronebreaker and the 10 or so other games that I played, I think just my notes grand total word count was 95,000 words. So, that alone, just reading that out on its own, would be just shy of 9 hours if I just read the notes in a video. So that's the kind of note taking I do when it's a very, very large video project. But when if it's a small video project, like Oberdin's notes were maybe at most like 1,000 words, maybe 2,000 words at absolute most, you know, like in that kind of range. I could make a video that's the size of Oberdin, like multiple of those a month easy now, I think. But sometimes it's hard to know how long the game is going to be, so there's not many Oberdin candidates, you know what I mean? So after that, I write the script with the notes, and after I write the script, I will record the script, and then I go into video editing, and then after video editing, after audio editing, I just arrange the video to the recording of the script in Adobe Premiere, and that's when the video has a lot of technical stuff that I guess a video on this topic would address, but I can't really get into that right now on just like off the top of my head in a stream like this. But that's a broad answer for how I make the videos. Do you go off how long to tell how long a game may take? Yeah, I usually do that, but for new games, and I prefer to make videos on new games. It's not always accurate. Yeah, but that's my process for making videos. But for actually putting the videos together, like there's a lot of technical stuff, and that's where Mandalorian's video is actually pretty good. He goes into quite a few details on the priorities you should take. The one thing I disagree with him slightly about is that I do agree, like he makes the point that audio quality is more important than video quality, and I do agree with him, like overall it is important, but I do still think that that video quality is very, very important. He agrees with that too, I'm sure. Like I don't want to strawman his point and be like, oh yeah, he was saying that that video quality doesn't matter. But the comparisons that he had with video and audio, and how he showed that the video is still perfectly fine. If the video is distorted but the audio is there, but if the audio is bad then and the video is good, then that's just like no, it's a no-go. I feel like that makes it seem like the video quality isn't as important as it actually is. But apart from that, that video is right on. Gotta start training more to accumulate for AI. Yeah, wow, Harper, wow. You weebs are never getting it. Never, ever getting it. Ever get tired of seeing those really try to hit that 10-minute mark comments? Nah, it's okay. It's alright. I am one with running jokes into the ground, don't worry. Hey Nova, how's it going? Did Water Guy have anything else?
Quick ones. One sentence replies are fine. Both of you can answer. Favorite candy?
I don't know. What's my favorite candy?
You don't really eat candy.
Like, in Britain, there's something called fruit pastels. I like fruit pastels. That's a candy. Over here, I guess Skittles, but I'm slightly allergic to them, and they make my tongue swell. So I'm not that big of a fan of them. And also, they changed the green ones from lime to apple, and I hate the apple flavor. So I like fuck Skittles, like the lime green was my favorite, and now they're shitty apple. So, but you probably go with fruit pastels, yeah.
Mine are gummy bears. Favorite kind of chips?
Probably salt and vinegar. Salt and vinegar, just not crinkled, just regular flat chips. Not the biggest fan of Pringles. Pringles are tasty when you first start eating them, but after a while I find Pringles make me feel sick. But I'm not a big potato chip person.
I don't know. It could be salt and vinegar. I also like a Dorito from time to time. But I also like right now, if I had to choose, I'm feeling just like a plain ruffled chip with some like sour cream chip dip.
Uh-oh. The baby wakens. Yeah, you like chips with dip. I don't like dipping anything.
I wouldn't mind some of that.
I'm not a dipper.
Least favorite stream meme?
Whoa, what? How did we do that? How did we do that? Why are you laughing?
It's gone.
What's gone?
Before you could even finish saying how did we do that, it's over.
I don't know how we did that. I don't know if I have a least favorite streaming. I can tell you my favorite. I can give you the answer, the opposite answer. My favorite is He Doesn't Know, because not only is it funny, but it also means that I can speculate and still read chat because no matter what I say from now on, and I really love that chat does this, and they just kind of decided to do it. If I ever speculate on plot points or anything that happens in a game, like even if I'm right or wrong, it doesn't matter. Chat just lights up with he doesn't know, or he knows. Like it doesn't matter what I say. It's always the same. So like I can just speculate and never have to worry, you know, like if I've gotten it all right, depending on chat's reaction. So that's my favorite, because I feel like it's chat doing a joke and giving a service at the same time. So I like that. I least favorite, I don't know, like I can say that lately I've been noticing a few more, as we've gotten like more an audience, I've been noticing a few inappropriate comments in chat, and it's making me want to step in and being like, yo, like let's calm down here, okay? Like some people are bringing out the lefty in me, let's put it that way. So I'm not a fan of that, but that's not a meme. I don't think I have one, sorry. Asking for an update about the Witcher video, is that a stream meme? What about yours, Lily? Do you have one or no?
I don't think I have one.
Why are you torturing chat? Please don't chat. We're still on the water guy. This is still his questions. I like him to recreate that weird drawing. Exactly.
I don't think I have, like, kind of like useless, but
useless.
I don't really have.
Do you know in episode 4 of the Witcher series on Netflix, Yennefer has a useless moment. So someone calls her useless, and she just gets up and she's like, and she just like goes nuts with her power after, because someone calls her useless. It's just exactly the same as Makoto in Danganronpa. It's funny. It's not Danganronpa, Lily. It's Persona, but they don't know that I'm kidding right now.
Way to keep it cool.
Yeah, they can't hear it, so we're whispering. Weebs can't hear whispering.
Yeah, I can't think of anything in particular that.
Okay, so that was it for the water guy, right? Or is there another one?
It for him.
All right, so sorry we gave you some kind of bad answers there, water guy. We try, but sometimes it's difficult. Let's keep going with Discord. Let's get to right before Levies, and then we'll stop.
Poor Levies, but they're probably gone now, right?
Is Levies here still? If Levies is here, we'll answer Levies right now. If Levies is here.
Show thyself. It's not looking like. Oh!
He's still here. All right, we'll answer Levies. And then we'll go back over to Patreon, and then we'll keep on with this one because I don't want to lose our spot. So we'll answer Levies. Or Levies.
Is that right?
I spelled it wrong. Oh, God damn it.
Evie, right?
Levies.
Hey Joe and Lily, says Levies. Right? Is it Levies? Or am I saying it wrong? Now that I said it, I feel like I said it wrong. Because you were saying it wrong. Oh, fuck. I hope you are well. As always, I'm sorry if I write something wrong. I'm German and dyslexic, which is ironically a terrible word for people with dyslexia.
Exactly, right? Just like if you have a lisp, you can't say lisp.
Well, you're German writing in English, and I can't even read that, so I wouldn't feel too bad right now. First question. I know the weep stuff is a joke, but is it? Or are you slowly, truly turning into a weep? Ayayas in the chat, boys.
Wait, is that the whole question?
No.
Okay.
I'm pausing for dramatic effect and allowing them time to do their ayaya bullshit. Now, okay, now to the serious question.
Oh, okay.
It is kind of a follow-up to the last question, but where to draw the line on explaining stuff to people. A lot of gaming journalism is pushing the idea to make games as accessible as possible for people with disabilities, and I think that this is great. I think there are a lot of a lot of easy ways to adjust your game to make it more accessible, and you should do that if possible. However, recently games like Hollow Knight came under fire for being too hard and not playable for everyone. It is kind of the old debate over Dark Souls easy mode. As I see it, the problem is to judge whether to change your creative vision of a game to make it more accessible, or if you want to present the product you had envisioned as closely as possible, and if there is collateral damage, so be it. Drastically speaking, I can't speak myself. I can't see F.E. Kojima.
What?
F.E. For example, maybe?
Where is it? Yeah, example, yeah.
Changing Death Stranding to make it more accessible, and I don't know if he should. Something along the lines of, I don't care if a lot of people have a good time, I want one person to feel exactly as I wanted and don't care about the rest. To turn this around from an essay into a question, what is your stance on this? Especially, how much should one, in your opinion, accommodate even if that means to possibly give up some part of the creative vision? And can or even should you criticize games which do not? I don't know where I stand on this, and I'd love to hear your take.
Sure. So there's a lot to unpack here. So this has a lot to do with difficulty in games and whether games should have different difficulty modes for different sort of players and for it to be accessible. I think the thing that gets conflated here is that there's accessibility options for people who if they're colorblind in a colorblind mode, if the way that the game is set up is really difficult to like the gamepad requires to have two fully functioning hands in order to play the game. There are probably other disabilities that I'm not really aware of when it comes to how people play games. I have seen people that have fairly serious disabilities that can still play games. I think there's one that I've seen where there's a guy that plays games just with his mouth, like because I think maybe he can also use parts of his arms, but for the most part he plays with his mouth, that sort of thing. And should games have accessibility modes to help people with disabilities play them? And I think absolutely yes, but the question also becomes, is being bad at the game a similar way of having accessibility options for that sort of thing? So there are certain accessibility options that I think are complete no-brainers and could never ever hurt a game, or at least like we're at the point where there's so few games that it could ever hurt that it doesn't matter, and those would be like colorblind options and being able to rebind all the keys and everything. I don't think like you would be really hard pressed to think of any game that would be a detriment for. I don't know how I'm doing that, or anything like that. At the same time, though, if there was a game that, like, it was a puzzle game and it was based on seeing shapes and colors and that sort of thing, and having a colorblind mode made that easier, like I can think of a way that could make it easier instead of just being accessible. But you know, I really don't feel like that's something that's worth talking about. So here's the ironic thing: is that games that have a very pure kind of narrow, I want to have this like an intended experience that the developers or the game director wants the players to have, those kind of games are really rare, and the irony is that right now we're playing one. So like this is one of the rare games. Like it seems stupid that fucking Jump King would be one of those rare games, but it is. So like Jump King is one of those games where there is an intended experience that is very pure, and they want the players to be frustrated as all hell, and they want them to just lose and fall and die and get mad and rage, and that's what they want. Like Jump King and Getting Over It are actually two examples of this pretty goddamn rare thing where a game developer has a very narrow intended experience that they want every player to have. Every other game, including Dark Souls, almost every other game, including Dark Souls, doesn't have that. So my issue with this argument that, and this may surprise some people, I think that almost every game should have difficulty options. I think that though they should exist in everything. I think Sekiro should have an easy mode. I think Sekiro does have an easy mode, but like I think that they should have difficulty options. Is because it's so rare that game developers have this intended experience that they want this one specific thing for players to feel. If in the case that they do, I think that the game should not have difficulty options. That's the only time where I will agree with that. If the developer wants, like, their artistic vision is that this is the way it's supposed to be, and it's supposed to be this one pure experience, then okay, great. That I 100% agree with you. You should be able to do that. The problem is that hardly any game is like that. So difficulty and the experience that most developers want to have is not this one set experience. It is instead trying to match a feeling to the skill level of different players. So I think I speak about this in the script that isn't out yet. I like to look at this as a mastery scale out of 100. And video games are, to me, mostly tests of skill. They're tests of like learning, and so teaching, learning, and then being tested on that. That's what I think the basis of almost every single video game is. So in a video game, you are, throughout the whole entire thing, getting your skill level up to a certain point, and we're gonna, for the sake of argument, put it out of 100. So a player needs to has a skill level that they can get to. They start at presumably 0, and as they're playing the game, they get better and better and better. Even in this game, you're getting better and better and better, and there are going to be jumps, and there are going to be parts of it that test your skill level, and they're going to require an X amount level of skill in order to proceed. So in most games, I'm going to say that by the end of the game, you need, it's very, very rare that a game will demand 100% mastery of you. In fact, apart from maybe like I want to be the Boshi, like even then I don't know, but then again that's kind of like a memorization game in some parts too, so it's kind of weird. Like I would struggle to even think of a game that requires 100% like capping out the entire skill and understanding every single bit of the game and getting to 100%. I'm gonna say that most games are sitting around 60%. You need to have like a skill level of 60 out of 100 in order to get there. And the reason why this is important to understand is that it's not that the game designers want you to get to 60 out of 100, although some of them might. This is just the feeling that that they've like sussed out at 60 out of 100. This is the level of difficulty that we want this boss to be. This is the level of difficulty that we want this feeling to invoke this level to be. Well, the thing is that we're presuming that players are going in at 0, and this just isn't true. So if a player is going in at 0 skill level, then it can be tuned quite well, and you can think of like, okay, what are the players going to be at, and we can learn, we can teach, they can learn, and we can get most players at the same level. Well, some players, just from playing so many games, are going to be going into a lot of games already at 60. Like that's what we're going to be at. Like there have been plenty of games where, and I'm sure almost everyone who's listening to this right now has had a similar experience, where you've gone into a game and after the first maybe like tutorial level, you're like, okay, I know exactly what to expect in every part of this game, and I've pretty much already mastered it because I know, because I have so much transferable skills from different games that this is nothing to me. This is absolutely nothing to me. Go play Yoshi's Crafted World, and it's just like, okay, this is nothing to me. Like I've already mastered this before I've even done the first level, and that's a problem. And the reason why and the solution to that problem is difficulty modifiers. So you want there to be a harder mode so that it's like a debuff on the skill level or a buff on the required skill level. So if players are already coming in at 60, well, okay, then I'm going to need you to demonstrate that you actually have 80 out of 100 skill level for this one, or maybe the difficulty mode is going to be so high that it's going to go up to 100. So hey, we're demanding 100. Well, the thing is that even the presumption that the skill level for players starts at 0 is something that we can dispute. Some players come into a game with negative skill, like it might be their first game ever, or they might have played a bunch of other games and they've learned bad habits from other games, or they have so little idea what they're doing that the tutorial itself is difficult. Like they have to master like learning the game before they can even get there, or someone who's like brand new, right? They can come in with negative skill. And I feel that a lot of games need to cater to these people too. So if you look at it again with the weird kind of forced mathematical kind of system that we set here, if you want players to experience around like a 60 out of 100 on a certain level, well, if players are coming in with too much skill that they are overwhelmingly like just going to destroy that, and you change it so they can still get the same feeling by demanding 80, why can't you also just have a difficulty modifier that goes the other way, that players are not experiencing the game at the intended difficulty level because they suck? Why can't you have a lower difficulty level that drops that down to 20 out of 100 or 40 out of 100? The thing is, and the reason and what makes this click for me is that these players, the players that have a lot of skill level who are playing on hard mode and are getting the 80 out of 100 challenge, and the players that are right in the middle and are getting the 60 out of the 100 challenge, and the new players that are new and suck, new players that are new, that's a great saying, Joe. The new players that suck who are getting the 20 out of the 100 challenge should theoretically, in a perfectly balanced game, all be getting the same experience that the developers wanted the players to have. And that's why difficulty modifiers should be in every game, because if they're done well, every single player is getting that same experience, and that's what they want them to have. That's the goal. And again, the caveat here is that games that have a very pure experience, which is that fuck you, it doesn't matter how good you are at this game. It doesn't matter how if you're new games. It doesn't matter if you are amazing at games. I don't give a shit. I want you to have this horrible struggling experience. Those games are really rare. Like again, we're playing one right now, but those games are really fucking rare. So with those being the exception, I think that's why I think difficulty modifiers are really, really important, and that they should be present in every game. For something like Sekiro and Dark Souls, they're built into the game already. You just have to go looking for them. Like there are plenty of bosses and encounters in Sekiro that have tests of knowledge. I didn't think that Sekiro had very many of these at first, but the more I played it and the more I did research on it, the more I realized that it does. I'm not someone that uses a lot of items and like the equivalent of spells in Sekiro, which is like your ninja tools, but like for Lady Butterfly, sorry for spoilers for Lady Butterfly, like the shurikens on Lady Butterfly just fucking Shrek her. Like you can just get so much extra damage, and you can just, what I consider, easy mode your way through that fight by using a tool, by understanding how that tool works and using it appropriately. I consider that to be kind of like the equivalent of an easy mode. It's requiring much less amount of skill from the player in order to get through that. Whereas I didn't know that was something that would make her easier when I first played, so I just did it the normal way. You know what I mean? Like that's why I hate like when Souls games are used as like this fucking bastion of like, oh yeah, it's like, look, Miyazaki has this intended level experience, and difficulty modes would just completely obliterate that. It's like no, motherfucker, like Dark Souls has difficulty choices. They're just baked into the game, and I think that's a really good way of doing it. I wish it was made a little bit more clear to some people, or I wish that there was less I don't know, like stigma, I guess, about using these tools, coming from someone who doesn't really use those tools. Maybe I'm a hypocrite here, I don't know, but I just wish that it was a little more acceptable to use those if you are struggling in those kind of games. So yeah, it frustrates me because Dark Souls and even Sekiro, which has the least amount of options when it comes to easy mode. Like easy mode in Dark Souls can also just be like, you level up, you can grind. It's an RPG, for fuck's sake. Anyway, so that's how I view difficulty options and accessibility. I think that the amount of games that are going to have this very, very narrow intended experience are so rare that they're really not worth talking about. And anyone who thinks that having the difficulty modes is like taking away from that experience, I just don't think has realized what a lot of directors and developers are going for. They want players to have this intended difficulty experience, and difficulty modifiers allow different players to get there. Like for me, like there was only, I think I struggled a little bit in Sekiro at the beginning on Lady Butterfly, actually, because that was the second boss that I killed, or was it the first boss that I killed? What's the I think she was the first main boss that I killed, right? It's like the first boss in that game is either the Horseman or Butterfly, right? Like, I killed Butterfly before the Horseman. So, like, I was really under-leveled, like, in terms of your memory power that you get when I went to Butterfly. And when I did another playthrough later, like, I found Butterfly very easy with the Horseman memory buff, whereas Horseman with your base Sekiro is really easy no matter what. So it seems to me that Butterfly is meant to be second or third on the list. And when I fought her as the first boss on my first playthrough, I struggled quite a bit against Butterfly because it was, I just don't think I was meant to be there yet. But apart from that, the only other boss I really struggled with was the last one, and even then, not really all that much compared to most people. But still, like, I feel like that was still a well balanced encounter. So for me, having a difficult experience I want in these games, they only succeeded on the first boss and the last boss, which is good. You know, it's better than most of them. But for me, I would have preferred to have a hard mode that was baked in. A hard mode option at the beginning that isn't just the bell or whatever. But then there's a huge problem with hard modes, with difficulty modes, which is like, how do you know what you should choose, and how do you communicate to players what they should pick and all that stuff. And yeah, I don't know, like that's a whole other topic though. Like maybe some people in chat have been saying that. I don't know. I haven't been really paying attention to chat right now. But yeah, that's how I feel. For me, Sekiro and a lot of the latest Souls games have been way too easy, and I wish that they had hard modes to pick at the beginning, because may not look at it right now, but yeah, I have too much translated experience from the other Souls games that I've played. What about the demon at the end of the game? He's optional, but by far the worst for me in that game. I died to that boss a fair amount, but early on when I was learning, most of my deaths were to his bullshit charge attack, which is the worst attack in the whole game, I think. Because spoilers for this boss. The solution to avoiding that perilous attack is that you have to jump over it. And when you jump over it, your model actually clips through his entire model still. There's no way to clearly jump over it, and seeing as he's so large, I didn't think that was an option. So I died a lot to that before I realized, oh, it's just they didn't make this look as good as it should have been, and that was very, very annoying. But yeah, that's where most of my deaths came. After I realized that piece of bullshit, that boss was actually quite easy, except for being a bit long.
Malevi says, really like that point. The psychologist in me now tries to think of a way to categorize kind of games by the means of experience in one doesn't improve your skill level in the other. So like non-correlating gaming abilities. Hard to express the idea. I hope you get what I mean. Maybe how many game skill sets are there that don't influence one another? This could become a follow-up question if I get my thoughts more organized. Really liked your answer on this. Thanks.
Oh, you're welcome, Levies. Yeah, it's I wonder about this too sometimes, like how many different skill sets are transferable, and as someone who again wants to make a game eventually, like I wonder about that, and I wonder what kind of accessibility options that I'm going to want in the games that I make. I feel like Celeste probably takes it too far, and I don't know. I also feel like there's the difference between difficulty options, and then there's just like a cheat mode menu that's there whenever you want. I feel like sometimes these games have it be like it's too easy. And also, like, having said everything I just said, like I do get annoyed sometimes when people who've played Dark Souls come at me and say, you know, this boss was really, really easy because I just summoned my buddy and we just 2v1'd it. It's like, okay, well, like, I understand, like, that's an option, but at the same time, like, that makes me think that you didn't even really beat the boss. And then I start to wonder if I'm a hypocrite, because, like, that should still be legitimate, but that's, like, that becomes, like, a whole different game and a whole different difficulty mode. There was a little bit of a hubbub on Twitter the other day about using save states when you're playing old Super Nintendo and NES games. If you're not aware of this, the Switch versions, like that are like made by Nintendo itself, have a rewind function. So like something like save states, where, well, I think it has save states too, along with a rewind function. So if you're playing Mario 3 on the Switch version, the NES like group of games that they have available on for being a Nintendo online subscriber, like if you die in Mario 3, you can just hold down L and R and rewind the game for a couple seconds and then just try again without having to restart the whole entire level. And there was a hubbub on Twitter about how, like, well, if you beat the game by using that, did you really beat the game? And there were a surprising amount of people who were like, yeah, of course you did. Don't judge people for how they play games and everything like that. And meanwhile, I'm there like that monkey meme where the monkey's just kind of doing like the sideline, and I'm like what? Like, is this real life? Of like, you can beat the game with cheats and it can still count as beating the game? Like, what? Like, it's like, and people are like, this is about social currency, and it feels weird that people put so much stock in whether they finish the game. It's like this has nothing to do with like social recognition for me. This is just like, you should want to beat the game because you want to beat the game. Like, that's what games are all about. Like, if you don't want to beat games, why are you playing games? Like, if you just want to go around and mess around with the mechanics, that's fine. But like, at that point, are you even really playing a game anymore? Or are you just kind of like looking at a game like fast forwarding it through like it's scenes of a movie? You know what I mean?
Well, the
Like,
thing is too, when if you were to say to me, I beat this game, and then I say, oh yeah, well, I beat that game too, you're not going to say to me, oh well, did you rewind it or did you actually play it all the way through? So you don't know if I played it
mm,
any differently than you. So it just seems like we beat it the exact same way, but we didn't.
I mean, using cheats to beat the game is too realistic. Don't we play games to escape from real life? I don't know what that means. Sorry, I don't know what you mean by realistic. It's like, look at a jigsaw puzzle, okay? Like, a jigsaw puzzle is a puzzle, like, of course. And it's when you get a jigsaw puzzle, you open the box, you put all the pieces around. The joy of putting the jigsaw puzzle together is seeing it come together slowly and working out how the pieces fit together, and it's meant to be kind of a therapeutic act sometimes. You're putting it all together, and it's a struggle, and it's like, okay, you have to remember the different pieces, you have to get an idea of the what the picture looks like, you have to constantly look at the picture on the box and see how it all puts together. If you could just like snap your fingers and all the pieces could go together all by themselves, then I feel like, what's the point, apart from like, you might enjoy seeing it all come together. Like, there is enjoyment there for sure, but I mean, aren't you having a completely different experience now rather than putting the jigsaw puzzle together? I don't know. I wouldn't call a puzzle a game though. I think puzzle games are games. But even if it's not, I think that comparison fits. Like, if you watched a movie and you just like put it on ×2 speed, barely paid attention to it, and at the end, like, you were on your phone the whole time, and then afterwards you just go on Wikipedia and look at the plot synopsis, and you're like, yeah, okay, I've seen that movie now. Have you? I mean, I guess so. Like, technically the movie was on and you weren't really paying attention to it. It was there. You know what happened. Have you seen the movie? Like, yeah, but like, why did you bother? Like, I'm a little hesitant to say things like this, because if anyone gets like joy out of that, like, who the fuck am I to judge? This isn't the question here. Like, if you enjoy that, if you enjoy playing games and cheating them, that's fine too. Like, there's nothing wrong with that. But to say that you have had like the full experience and you can go along and say, yeah, I watched that movie, or yeah, I played that game, or you just, like, if you pick up a book and you just skim through it and you skip pages, you skip chapters, and you get to the end, and then after you've barely read any of it, and then you just go on like Wikipedia again and just read the plot synopsis. Did you read the book? I don't think you did. Like, I don't know. I feel like there should be some standard there. But I mean, I don't think it's an invalid experience, but you're not skipping anything by using the rewind function. Of course you are. You're skipping the challenge of having to master a level over and over and over again. Like, you can just brute force your way through the whole game now. Like, if I had a rewind feature on this game and I was using it, then I wouldn't have to like master all of these different individual jumps. I would only have to brute force my way through one jump every single time. Like, I could just rewind. I could just teleport myself back up to where I just fell there and try again and try again and try again. And every single time I get through one jump, I'm done. So, like, yeah, a rewind feature in this game would absolutely be skipping content. People can consume media the way they want. Of course they can. But like, at the same time, I don't think they should be able to speak about that media however they want if they're consuming it any way that they want. Because it's just not true. It's not that it's not valid. It's just not true. If you were having a discussion about what the fuck is the book called? with Heathcliff in it. Wuthering Heights. If you were having a conversation with someone about Wuthering Heights, and you're an hour into this conversation with them, and then they suddenly say to you, "Oh, by the way, I didn't really read it. I just read the plot synopsis on Wikipedia, and I just kind of skipped through most of it, and I just read the first few pages and the end pages, and then I just went up and read it." I think at that point you'd be like, "Okay, thank you for the conversation," and just walk away, because I don't think they're being genuine. I don't think that's a, like, if you did that, I don't think you read the book. And if you fast forwarded through or use the rewind feature in a game, I don't think you beat the game. Like, it's your fun that you had with it, the good experience you had with it, completely valid. No one's gonna take that away from you, or at least I don't think they should. But I don't think you should be able to say that you did in terms of conversations. But it's not akin to reading plot synopsis. How is it not? If you're skipping over so much of the game, how is that not at least a little bit of a fair comparison? You'd both be asleep because it's Wuthering Heights. Yeah, I agree with you. Wuthering Heights is kind of boring.
I haven't read it, so I can't say. I haven't read the synopsis either.
The most interesting thing about that, I think, was that it has an ending before the ending. It has like an ending that's really the true ending, and then there appears to be like an ending at the end where it was for people who at the time needed to have like the conventional ending, if I remember correctly.
I'm playing like Yoshi's Island and Super Mario World, and I keep getting to like I'm in like a ghost house, or I'm in one of those fortress things, and I get through like the first part, you go through the door, and I get through the second part, and I get through the door, and then I get to the third part, and there's no like halfway marks, right? So like if I die on the third door, I have to go back and start all the way from the beginning again. So if I could just rewind where I'm at that door, and I don't have to redo it every single time, then I only have to get through it once, right? And then I don't have to spend the next 45 minutes or an hour, or if I'm being honest, even longer, so doing it and cursing and swearing and hating myself, and then I need a timeout breather because I'm so mad. I'm missing out on all of that part. Because I just rewind, right, and then I don't have to. As long as I can get through it once, right, then I don't have to do it again.
We're playing the perfect.
It's a little bit different.
We're playing the perfect game to show this. Okay, I'm really not understanding people in chat who are disagreeing with this. Okay, look at this game, right? If I fail this jump right now. Okay, if I could just hit a button right now and teleport myself back up to that third layer of this jump, right? And just try that again. And then after I get it done, I never have to do that jump again. Like, how can you possibly say that having the power to do that is the same experience and actually playing the game properly compared to what this game is all about? It's not about whether this game is good or anything like that. Like, I'm really struggling to understand how that could possibly be seen as the same thing. Like really? Like are there really a lot of you that think that? Again, I'm the tone of my voice might be thinking that I'm incredulous and I think that you're objectively wrong. That's not true. I am incredulous, but like I'm trying to be like, I'm trying to understand here, okay? Like, please don't think I'm being hostile, but like I'm interested right now because it's just such a bizarre view for me to have. Because that's exactly what save states are. Now, save states can be used fine, I think. It's not like if you use a save state, it's completely off the mark. Like, if like right off the bat, if you use a save state because the going through all the menus and loading the game is quite like long, and you just want to use a save state just to skip over that, like there's nothing wrong with that. Like if you use a save state, like I mean, I don't know exactly where I would put the line that you cross over, but like if there's a lot of grinding for levels, it depends on the game. But like there's probably, using a save state as a way to just come back to the game later instead of just leaving the console on like you used to have to, that's probably fine too. Like there are different ways that I think it's acceptable, but like if you're just playing the game and you're just like, whenever you die, you just constantly hit like F9 to quick save state back to like 5 seconds before you died so you can do it again. Like you are not getting the same experience. If you beat the game like that, you did not beat the game, IMO. Sorry that this just turned into this Malefice. Maybe we should move on. Yeah, let's move on. Let's move on. This was fun though. If you only saw the Shuro ending, have I beaten Sekiro? Yeah. Yeah. No. What's that one again? I mean, oh, that's tough. I'm gonna say no. I'm gonna say no. Like, oh man.
The super short one.
The fight after that is still pretty tough. Oh god, I don't know. That's really hard. That's a tough one. Like there's that thing where you can do is it like Far Cry 3 or 4 that if you don't leave a room, the game can end 10 minutes in and you get an ending? Like I would say that's not, you haven't beaten the game. No. That's pretty fucking early, man. I'm gonna say yeah. I'm gonna come back to yes. Yeah, I think that should count. Like you beat it. Yeah. Like I mean, you should probably clarify that when you're having conversations with the people. But yeah, I think that counts. That counts. All right, let's move on.
So I'm going backward, or so we skipped ahead, right?
No, Milevi's had a different question, right? Or is that the only question Milevi's had?
Yeah, that's it.
Oh, I thought there was a different question.
They put one, but then there was no two. It was just so I read it as one. That's why you would think that.
Milevi's toying with us. All right, so next is Halt Fire. But I think there might be some subs and stuff that we should answer first, right?
Yeah, there's more than I can. You have to scroll for me now, I think.
Ready, aim, halt, fire. Have you ever heard about Mark Rosewater's player psychographics? It really helps illustrate that people enjoy games in fundamentally different ways, and I can all coexist with intentional design. I think I have heard of that. I'm not sure if I've read much into it though. But yeah, absolutely, there are different reasons to play games. I think that the intended purpose that a game has, that the developers and the directors had, I think it's important, but I do not think it's the be-all end-all. Like I am someone who believes in death of the author, but I also think that it shouldn't be used as just like a shut the fuck up card. You know what I mean? Like I feel like it's a lot more complicated than that. But that's for another time. Yeah. I think that discussing in the intentions of art is hardest in video games than it is in anything in any other medium, because of the interactive nature of them. Yeah. Anyway, sorry. Go ahead, Lily.
Thank you to Sensual Celery.
That's an interesting name.
Who resubscribed for 2 months with Prime and says, "Is it insulting or flattering if I fall asleep to your reviews almost every night?"
No, it's not insulting at all. I think maybe a little flattering because that means you like my voice and you like the sort of like methodical approach to the videos. Like there have been videos like mine that I've used as a sleep aid in the past too. So yeah, it's fine.
Thank you to Mediocre Pixel, yeah. Mediocre has resubscribed. Where am I? For 13 months. Thank you, Mediocre Pixel.
Thank you, Mediocre Pixel.
And then it was Harper who said, "I gotta start cheering more to accumulate the 4 and used 1 bit." And you read that when it came up in chat.
Traitor Harper.
Can't believe you, Harper. And then thank you to Avant132 who used 1 bit and says, "We'll show this fake weeb who he really is when we get a yaya."
You guys are never getting a yaya, even though someone just cashed one in. It's a billion monocoins. It's never happening.
Thank you to Samuel Aguilar09. Sorry I said it wrong. Who used 1 bit and says, "Yeah, let's show him." I feel like we're reading that Sonic thing again. Thank you to Son Carl C or Son Carl.
Son Carl C, I think. That's how I've said it in the past.
Who resubscribed for 22 months and says, "Hey Joe, Happy New Year. My ear is clogged full of crap." I'm sorry.
I'm sorry for that. Like,
it must be really annoying.
I hate it when I get a clogged ear.
Thank you to 77 Hockey who resubscribed for 19 months and says sub.
Sub.
And thank you to Lemaniac who gifted a sub to Allo Name, I think. I'm reading this from quite a ways away.
Outlaw
So
name, yeah.
for
I
all
think
you
it's-
people
I
who
think it's
are
outlaw
like,
name.
why is she reading? Why can't she read? It's because I can't see very well. Sorry about that. Thank you to Anoctium. Anoctium. One word.
Unoctium, yeah. This is a tough name to say. I struggle with this one.
They subscribed for 7 months and said Nana.
Nana? Not Nanny? Nana?
I see an A. Is there an E on it?
It's an A, yeah. You're right. It's Nana. Not Nanny. I thought it would be Nani. Nani? Oh no.
Thank you to everyone. That is all for now. Now we go to Hotfire.
In just 1 second, someone. Reviewer requests queue. All right. Ooh. Loner Archon has cashed in a dad joke book joke read aloud. All right. Here you go, Lily Bell. Pick a page. While because Dakju has reward Ayaya Monocoin Fund. All right. So last time, the first one ever was Samuel Aguiar, and I was a generous weeb god, and I upped it to a million. It's meant to be 20,000, but I upped it to a million. But I'm also a capricious weeb god. So Ayaya's Monocoin Fund cash in for 20,000. I'm just taking 1 coin away from it, because I am a capricious god. And what are you guys gonna do about it? What are you guys gonna do? Absolutely nothing. Absolutely nothing. What are you guys gonna do? You think you guys are gonna get through this? Like, come on. Come on. Alright, so 7 9 9 9 9 9 9. There we go. You sure showed me weebs, didn't you? There you go.
I found like an international part of this book. And since chat is so international themselves, I shall read the international part.
Alright.
Where do hamsters come from? Hamsterdam. What do you call the place where parrots make films? Pollywood. Sweden doesn't export its cattle because it wants to keep its Stockholm. What birds are found in Portugal? Portuguese.
That was pretty good.
In what city will you find the most cows? New York.
That one's not very good.
I like this one. I went to a travel agency last week to get some help planning my next vacation. I had been speaking to an agent for a while about what I would like to do on my trip, but there are so many great destinations in the world that I was having trouble deciding which place I wanted to visit. Well, that's easy, the agent told me. You want to spend some time outdoors, and it would be beautiful in Oslo this time of year. Why don't you think about going there? I replied, oh no, I have heard Oslo is a particularly dangerous city. There's no way I'd ever go. For all the weebs, what is the biggest pan in the world? Japan. Which is smarter, longitude or latitude? Longitude, because it has 360 degrees. And Florida is a really easy place to move to because it has a lot of keys.
Nice. 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 Damn, look at this. Damn, he took 1 coin off. Think they're happy taking 1 coin off?
They're doing it.
Here you go. Here's a celebration, chat, for taking 1 whole coin off the Monocoin Fund. Here we go. Let's celebrate together. All right, let's have 1 more Yaya for every coin that was just taken off the list. All right, there we go. Was it worth it?
Halt Fire.
We updated the name on the list, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Halt Fire 302 Band says, "Hey Joe and Lily, your boy here.
It's your boy.
Feel free to not answer, but as far as I'm aware, you both still have different last names.
Yes.
Will the children be taking the Anderson or Evans last name, or both?"
Dun dun dun. Dun 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 dun. This may be a little bit weird, but I don't want to answer that question. I think that's acceptable. Do you agree?
Yeah, it's acceptable.
Yeah, I don't want to answer that question. I hope you understand why. Hellfire.
Second question. Have you had any regional food from somewhere you really enjoy, but can't find anywhere else? I don't think I would last living somewhere that didn't have beef on whack or pastry hearts.
Ooh, pastry hearts.
Yeah.
Huh.
They sound really good. The thing they have here that we haven't tried, I don't think we tried, did we try it? Was the Donair.
Oh yeah, Donair.
And
yeah.
they have Donairs everywhere here, and we haven't tried them yet, but I feel like we probably should while we're here.
They even sell Donair kits in the grocery stores, yeah. Yeah, we haven't tried Donair. So for Canada, I really like poutine. Like poutine is one of my favorite meals that's here. If you are unaware of what poutine is, or like it's actually pronounced poutine, but everywhere else apart from Montreal and apparently Moncton say poutine, but it's meant to be poutine, like the leader of Russia. Oh no, politics. A poutine is French fries, gravy, and not cheese curds. And the cheese curds have to be fresh enough that they have what is known as a squeak. So when you bite into them, it's like a little squeak that happens in your mouth, you know, like. And the cheese curds can also melt very, very nicely with the French fries. And if you've never had it, it may sound kind of gross because it's cheese curds, but it's actually really, really nice. The cheese is a very mellow kind of flavor added to it, and it really melts nicely in with all of the French fries and the gravy, and every single part of it is really important. So if you ever have a poutine that's bad, it might be because the curds are kind of shit, it might be because the gravy's kind of shit, it might be because of the fries are kind of shit. I've tried to make it at home a couple times, and the hardest part that I find is getting the gravy right. Like getting good gravy is really, really tough. But as long as you can find like decent cheese curds, you know, you can make your own fries and everything. I find that if you're ever in Canada, McDonald's has poutine. And I'm sorry if you're a fellow Canadian. I actually think the McDonald's poutine is not that bad. It's definitely not like a gourmet experience. Like nothing in McDonald's is a gourmet fucking experience. Let's be real. But I feel like a McDonald's poutine is actually a fairly good representation of what a poutine can be. If you want to have a taste of it to see if something you enjoy. It's like I would say it's like mid to low, but still it's edible. Like there are way worse ones. Like the Burger King one is absolutely horrible. The Wendy's one is absolutely horrible. The McDonald's one's all right. I haven't had the Tim Hortons one. But you're best going into a place that specializes in poutine. There's a sub place across the city here in Moncton that has a really good poutine, but it's too far for us to go to regularly. But that one's pretty good. So yeah, McDonald's has great fries. Fight me. Yeah, I really think McDonald's has great fries too. Yeah. McDonald's has good fries.
It depends. Sometimes they're really good.
Yeah.
And when they're really good and they're hot and everything, they're really good. But there are times where it's like they're kind of limp and like maybe they didn't change the oil or something, and it's
Joe sells out to
not
McDonald's.
the same.
Well, here, let me prove that wrong. McDonald's has absolute shit burgers. I hate McDonald's burgers. They're like okay if you're really, really hungry. Like anything's really okay when you're really, really hungry. But whenever I have McDonald's burgers, I feel like I'm sick afterwards. I'm just kind of like, oh, why did I fucking bother? That was terrible. Their nuggets are okay. McChicken is okay.
I tried poutine in the USA South. It was fries with gravy and cheddar cheese.
No, that's not a poutine. That's just gravy cheese fries, man. What's your opinion on McDonald's apple pies, though?
I like them.
I'm not a big apple pie fan, but Lily likes them.
I like them a lot. For the longest time, I didn't actually like apple pie. I just liked like their apple pie, which is kind of like a turnover kind of pie, and that's the only apple pie I would eat. But now, the restaurant I worked at before had apple pie, and I got into it.
But gravy cheese fries are the bestest comfort food. Oh yeah, there's nothing wrong with gravy cheese fries if that's what you want, but that's not a poutine. Like that's it has to be cheese curds to be a poutine. Just like it has to be cheese curds to be a poutine. Like if you use save states, you didn't beat the game.
How many times are you gonna say poutine?
What? That's
the
real way to say it. I'm not putting it on.
We don't speak French. It just sounds like you're trying too hard. Just poutine. Just butcher it. Putting it on.
For Britain, I really miss fish and chips from a proper. I feel like this question has been asked before. Are we accidentally on old questions? No, they're there.
I think we just been asked before.
Like I really miss like fish and chips from an actual chip shop from Britain. I also miss a lot of chocolate that comes from Britain, but we can import some of that now, and it's not too expensive. It used to be prohibitively expensive, and I'm not talking about like back when we didn't really have that much money. It was also a lot more expensive back then, but it's gotten more reasonable now. So there's like things like snack food from Britain, like custard creams. I really like having custard creams with some tea. I even have a packet on my desk here. Finn and Leo call those daddy biscuits, and they're always asking for daddy biscuits, whereas Jaffa cakes are daddy cookies. So they're always asking me for daddy biscuits and cookies because they like them so much. They don't like chat. Any British people around you right now, okay? Any British people here? The kids don't like, you can hear the rustling, they don't like bourbon creams. They don't like them. I thought they would be a hit, but they're like, nope. Quote the Leo, yuck.
There's a lot of stuff from Toronto that I don't know if that would count, but that we don't have here now, that like Greek food.
Yeah. They don't really, there's no good Greek food in Moncton.
I haven't seen anything. I haven't had a souvlaki in so long. So yeah, I'm sad. Like if we ever get back there, that's like the first thing I'm eating is we're stopping somewhere that I can get a good Greek salad. So not so much that we have here, but stuff that I missed from back there.
Have you had bourbon cookies with bourbon? No, I haven't. I'm not a big drinker. We didn't even get drunk this year for
we suck.
For New Year's.
We talked about it for so long, and then we never did it.
We didn't get the drinks in time, so we didn't even do
and we
that.
haven't since either.
Yeah.
You'd think we still would have gone out and had a drink, and we didn't.
Oh,
Too much effort.
This game. Not mad, by the way. Not mad. Should I have beaten it by now? By the way, like, am I like way behind? Like, am I bad at this game? I feel like I should have beaten it by now.
I'd recommend Mama's or Freddy's for a quick dinner in Moncton if you can ever make it to Halifax. There's some real good there.
Mama's or Freddy's for a quick doner in Moncton if you can ever make it to Halifax. There's some real good places there. Freddy's is good. We haven't had doner from Freddy's, but we have Freddy's Pizza, and Freddy's Pizza is, like, we agree, the best in Moncton,
I think
right?
It's
Freddy's is the best pizza in Moncton. I don't think we've had Mama's anything apart from pizza, and we didn't really like Mama's Pizza, did we?
I think I tried. I think that was the one that had nachos, and I said they were okay, but they weren't great. I don't know. When we first got here, we tried anything that had. I love nachos. And we had a really great nacho place in Toronto, so I was really missing it. So any place that had nachos on the menu at the beginning, we tried. Like, I would order every time, no matter where it was from. And they were all so... What was it they kept putting on it? I can't remember now. They were putting something really odd. Was it like not peppers?
Poutine gravy.
No. Barbecue something, remember?
Barbecue sauce?
Barbecue sauce or barbecue chicken or something they were putting.
Barbecue chicken.
Yeah, remember I kept saying to you, why is there stuff on my nachos?
Did we talk about this on stream before about, or was I just talking to Weeaboo Bill about this, which was that the pizza place is not having any fucking salad in this city.
I don't remember.
They never have any lettuce.
They never have lettuce. Freddy's never has lettuce.
They never have lettuce.
He has salad just on the menu. Why is there no lettuce ever?
Every time I call, do you have any lettuce? No lettuce, brother. Okay, I got no lettuce, brother. That's how he says it every single time. I don't know if it actually is Freddy, but it's like I got no lettuce, brother. I'm like, okay, cool. So now whenever we call, which is not that often, but whenever we call, it's like, hey, No lettuce? And he's like, no lettuce.
We didn't do isolated spacemans. We didn't do them tonight, at least, right? We didn't answer them yet, I don't think.
I don't think so, no.
No, not yet.
Isis Spaceman is Jaime, right?
I think so. I always get confused, and I think it in my mind that it is, and then I doubt
think
myself.
in your mind?
You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah,
I think it's Jaime, and then I'm like, no, what if it's not? So then I don't want to say it is, and then I'm wrong. So now you know. I think you're somebody named Jaime. If you're not, then I'm sorry.
Oh my god, this is as far
Moment
as
of
we've
truth,
gotten.
we're gonna find
This
out.
is as far as we've gotten. Okay, so what do? Do we just jump all the way up to the top left? We have to jump all the way to the top left, right?
Hey, Mad Babe.
There's no way we jump all the way to the top right. But it's this game. It's this game. Did we jump all the way to the top left?
And she's blonde.
It's the babe! She's here!
Well, we saw her. We can stop now. We can call it.
I can't believe there's actually a babe.
Oh, far. Joe's not into blondes.
I'm into one specific blonde.
I'm not blonde enough. She has nice hair, though.
Mm. Did Hall fire another question?
No.
Is there anything else you can think of?
When I read this question the first time, I didn't really have anything, to be honest. I thought of the Donairs, but, like, there's not a whole lot here that is unusual that we haven't had, and there's a lot of stuff that they don't, you know.
Do you know what? There should be a place.
There's no Mr. Subs here. They're my favorite.
Donair is so good that we should do this. I take it back. Who asked me earlier what I would do if this fell through? If this falls through, I'm gonna open my own Donair place in Moncton, and I'm gonna call it the Fresh Prince of Donair.
That's a good one.
Exactly. And we'll have lettuce. We'll have lettuce.
And salads, I hope.
No, just lettuce.
I got salad when we got pizza. And Leo ate like all my croutons. It's all he wants. He doesn't want anything like no lettuce, no whatever. He just wants, he reaches in and he picks up the croutons.
Sorry, Mommy. Sorry, Mommy. Mommy.
For mummies?
I'm really sorry.
No. For Eos.
It's for Eos. It's not for mummies. It's for Eos. It's not for Eos. It's for mummies.
You do that too well. There's a New York pizza place called Cut My Life Into Pizzas.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. We think that Kate babbled her first word tonight.
Yeah, it really sounded like it, didn't it?
She babbled mama a couple times.
And she was looking at me for one of them, so it's like she knew. So she might have said it.
It's still too early for her to start talking, but apparently girls start talking months before boys. So like it's possible that she could, like, she babbles a lot, but that was the first time she clearly babbled like something that we could recognize.
No, yeah. No.
No, yeah, no.
Usually it's mama, papa, na na da 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 ba ba ba, something like that. But
anyway, so the moment has passed now, so I can actually take 20,000 away from the from the IIF fund. Like you guys didn't think I would actually do that to you, right? Like I'm not gonna just make it be 1. All right, so it's 7 and then 999 and it was 20,000, right? So that should be 8000, right? 1 2 3 1 2 3. No, it's 8 here. Okay, that's it, right? It should be 997980000, right? I think that's correct. If it's not, I'll fix it later. He will never read my super insightful stuff, damn it, Joe. Oh, I read it. It's just not insightful. I read your comments all the time, Flexen.
I saw Flexen say that he said it, but I didn't see what it was.
I'm scrolling out. Where is it? It is really naive of you. Look around as the utopians are trying to achieve impossible, dehumanizing goals of ethic purist states, or disregarding the stability of society by looking into revolutionary actions and looking into the failed ideas of Marxist utopias. Marxist? Isn't it Marxist? Humans are pushing towards clearly impossible goals without thinking about their own personal and or others' health or body or spirit. So obviously the weebs will fund a yaya.
Obviously.
That's actually pretty good. Oh, for fun, no. I can't believe we saw the babe, though. We saw the babe.
She's there. She's waiting for you.
We saw the babe. The question is, like, when you go up and see her, does she kick you in the nuts or something? Like, there's got to be like a punchline, right? There's got to be.
Does she punch you in the nuts?
Maybe she punches you in the nuts. Yeah. It's no way that it's like actually a babe.
Or does she like wait up there all this time and then you got up there and she saw you and then you fell all the way down and she was like, fuck this, I have better things to do, and she's gone now. Maybe
she's gone. Maybe it forces you to fuck up that jump at the end there. Like there's no way to do it. That's for fuck's sake. Anyway, read the next question.
I have to switch the name.
I did already.
Did you put Firebug?
Yeah, it's Firebug, yeah.
Okay, it's Firebug. Hey Joe and Lily. Joe, what kind of experience system do you like best? Experience is supposed to simulate learning through action, somewhat like Skyrim, but some games literally teach your character how to do things you, as a player, couldn't before. Instead, for a topical example, Force Pull in Star Wars. Personally, I like it best when the player has the ability the whole time, and the game simply hands you the information, like techniques in Catherine or some levels in Baba Is You.
Okay, so let's boil it down. There's just to recap what Firebug just said. So there's experience systems where you kill monsters and you just get experience points that you can spend on things. There are experience systems where you gain experience points in a specific skill that you are using, and then that can lead to unlocking abilities in that skill, or you can use those points to unlock abilities in other skills. Abilities that you can unlock can be stats, or they can be new skills that your character can use, or you can just gain abilities in the world, kind of like in a Metroidvania where you've gained something new that you couldn't do before, no matter how hard you tried. And then there's also things that you can learn how to do something that you've always known how to being capable of doing. You just know how to do it. So another example is actually in Super Metroid, where you can wall jump, and right from the beginning of the game you can wall jump, and you might not even know that you can do that until you see a little ghost animal thing doing it, and you're like, oh, okay, cool, I didn't realize I could do that. It's actually really awkward to pull off too, but yeah, that sort of thing. I don't have a favorite. I think overall, I think all of these have their time and place. I'm gonna say that my least favorite is probably just base experience points that you use to unlock something, but that depends on how the game works. I think that it can be that can still be fun. I do really enjoy finding things in the world because it rewards exploration. So overall, if I have to pick a favorite, it would probably be that one. I like the tangible aspect of like finding a new ability or finding a skill point in the world that you can now use on something. If it's unlocking something, I think that's a lot of fun. I wish that Sekiro had leaned much harder into that. That's what I was expecting it to be when they announced the game. I thought there was going to be like a lot of different stat points that you could find and different increases that you can find around the world, but it turns out that wasn't it at all. So I was a little disappointed in Sekiro for that. But I think that if I had to pick something for an RPG system to use, I like Skyrim's version quite a bit. I like the idea of, to get better at one-handed fighting, you actually have to go out and one-handed fight. I think that's pretty cool. But I think a mixed system is probably best with that ability. That is how you gain the experience points. And then on top of unlocking talents within that kind of tree, I think that you should be able to have like a base skill system, sort of like what Fallout 3 uses in Fallout New Vegas. I think that a mixed system is best for RPGs. Yeah, but they all have their place. There's something specific I want to say here, but I can't remember it now. I talk about this a little bit in the Witcher video, because I don't like how Witcher 3's progression system works. I think that Witcher 2 also suffers a little bit from this too. Witcher 1 doesn't. I think that Witcher 1 and 2 just simply just does not give you enough skill points to not spoil the video. Like, it just, the way that works, the way the combat system works in Witcher 2, like, I feel like they could have let you just unlock every single tree in that game, and it would have just been an improvement. Just let you unlock every single thing, and the game would just be like twice as good in terms of combat right from that. And for Witcher 3, I find it very strange that Witcher 3 has this skill point unlock system where you gain experience just from doing shit, and that gives you skill points, and you unlock new skills with it. But you also have to unlock the slots to oh, I don't know what I did there. And you also have to unlock the slots to put the skills in. So even if you have a lot of skill points and you've unlocked a lot of skills, you can only have without the DLC, you can only have like 12 skills equipped, and that's just kind of really weird considering how hard it is to get the skills. Like, to me, I think all the skill points should have been available, all the skills should have been available, or you get them via exploration and you use skill points to upgrade them, and you use levels to unlock the slots to put them in. But even then, that's kind of weird. Like, I talk about this more in the video because it's just a really, really weird fucking system. It feels just like it just feels like two systems smashed together thoughtlessly, so I'm not a big fan of it. But yeah, I think overall I like the tangible feedback of, hey, you use a skill, you get better at the skill as you use it. But I also really like, for non-RPGs, I also really like learning techniques. Like, Catherine is a good example. Yeah, I enjoy the wow, you could have done this and you could have taught yourself it early even. But yeah, that's how I feel. Yep.
Serious question.
That wasn't a serious question?
No, apparently not. But you took it very seriously, so that was good.
Good for me.
Good to know, right? Me. Good to, like, just always take it seriously, because you never know, right? Serious question. I was watching a show where someone was taking bipolar medication, and they were having a crisis of identity, whether them on, off medication was the real them. What are your guys' thoughts on that kind of situation? Don't feel pressure to answer if it's too real or personal. I have a more casual backup to replace this question just in case. Just let me know.
Oh. I'm okay with answering it. Are you okay with answering it?
We talked about it a little bit already, actually, on Discord, but I can elaborate. Like,
okay,
I touched on it a little bit already, but.
So this is more of a Lili question, so I will say my piece and then Lili can go for it. I think that this is something that that concerns me a little bit, because I often have, like, it feels like someone else is in control of my body, because I get up in my sleep and I do things, and in the morning I have no memory of them. So it's like there's another sleep Joe that does things, and sometimes I have to wonder, like, who is the real one, and what that even means, or if it's just simply that there's no long-term memory being saved of that time. But even that's kind of disturbing in and of itself. I actually woke up today with like red hand marks on my arms, like I was Sam from Death Stranding, because in my sleep I was just like gripping my arm so tightly in my hand. I had like this red arm print in my on my left bicep. So this is something that I think about, but I feel like the conclusion is that for me, and if Lili wants to correct me, then she can obviously feel free, of course, is that you on any sort of medication it's still you, you know, like it might be a different kind of version of you that the medication is bringing out, or it might like change how you think and how you act and how you see certain things, but it's still all you. I don't think a personality or a mind can come in a bottle. So I think that it is a fair worry, but I do think you should just remember that it is you. I think the more troubling idea that comes from this is, if especially if you're a creative person, is that your sense of creative worth is tied into your disorder, and that's something I used to worry about. I am unmedicated. I don't take anything for my sleep disorder. I used to take some things, and when I was taking some of them, I was worried that I wouldn't be the same person in terms of creative creative interests. Like I wasn't going to be able to write. Like my writing was because of my sleep disorder. It's wrapped in my identity, and that wasn't the case at all. But I mean, I'm sure for some people it could be that. Like that doesn't sound like something that is totally off the mark. But I guess at that point it's all about a trade-off of what kind of person do you want to be, and how do you want to feel, and is the effects of the chemistry that you're taking, is it worth it or not? I don't know. It's complicated, but that's where I stop talking.
It's something we talk about actually quite a bit, because I will often, after a particularly bad cycle, say something to Joe like, what are my thoughts, and what are bipolar thoughts, and what are, leftover bipolar thoughts. So I thought a lot about how I wanted to answer this question, and I'm still not sure how I want to answer this question, in spite of having weeks to really think about it. But it's just that there's so much about the disorder that nobody really understands. And there's so much about, I've had this for so long now, and yet I still don't understand it. And when you go and see a psychiatrist, they don't exactly sit you down and say, okay, well, this is the type you have, and this is how it is presented in you. So that time that happened to you, and that time that happened to you, and that time, that was all related to bipolar, and that wasn't related to something else, because they don't know, and they don't have the time to sit down and go through all of it with you like that. Like that's not how it works. So I've had all these things happen to me in my life, and it's like, okay, that seemed like a hallucination, but was it? Or that kind of seemed like maybe that was a delusion, but was it? And then, so it's these things stay with you afterward. And that's, I think, the hardest part for me, is that when it's happening, I'm either aware that it's happening, especially if I'm depressed. I can tell you exactly when I'm depressed, and how I used to have to do mood charts, so I can tell you even how severe I am, and how able I am to go about my day, while I'm depressed. That's something I'm more comfortable with, I'm more used to. And I can say, okay, that little voice that's telling me to go kill myself, that's not real, and that's not really you, that's the illness, and there's a chemical imbalance, and okay, that's just wait it out. And Joe is really good for that. Joe will always tell me if he notices that something's off with me, even before I notice it sometimes. And he'll remind me that, it's not real, and it'll pass, and it's not to be, because it'll stress you out. It'll really upset me sometimes when I get like that, because there's no actual reason in my life, and there's nothing that happened to me that makes me feel that way. It's like a switch. So it's one day I was fine, and the next day I'm not. I'm going to pause right now, because this is very important.
Is it a full power jump to the right? Or is it a medium powered jump?
I don't know.
Oh my god, it's a full power jump.
The music.
This is more important than what you were talking about.
It's very important. I will wait for this. I will wait for Hot Babe before I go back to discussing how crazy I am.
He looks up. Look how swole his legs are.
Well, if you did all that jumping, your legs would be swollen too.
Wow. Anyway, please continue. I'm sorry.
That's okay. So depression, like I'm more used to handling, but I don't get full blown mania usually. I get hypomania, which is without psychosis. So I don't usually get. I have had like one or two times where I'm not sure if I hallucinated or I had a delusion, but for the most part, I don't get them. And since going on medication, I barely get it at all. But the problem is with the type that I have, I cycle every couple of weeks, even on medication. I don't tell you guys that because I don't want to be one of those people that just bitches and whines all the time that I'm not feeling well. But for the most part, every couple of weeks, I'm depressed for sometimes a week or two, and then it's done. And then I'll go about my business, and then it will come back and hit me like a sledgehammer again, and I'll go about my business. And it just doesn't isn't as intense, and it doesn't take as long as a cycle off the medication would be. And then every now and then I'll have a little high, a little bump, and then I'll crash again, and that's about it again. But the main thing I'm thinking about with this question is how I was diagnosed was they gave me an antidepressant and they didn't tell me what was going to happen when I took it. And it was kind of the defining factor of how will I respond to this with no mood stabilizer or antipsychotic in my system. And it's the worst manic episode I've ever had. And it lasted for a few days before I stopped the medication. And it was literally, I was crying. It was so intense. I couldn't handle it. I was cleaning. I remember scrubbing the floor. And then I was just kind of like going in circles of up, down, up, down, up, down. Can't handle it. Thoughts racing, talking so fast. We went out. I had these paranoid thoughts that I thought people in the grocery store knew what I was thinking. And they knew that I was having this high. And they were all judging me for it. And like, it was just... That's medication does that to me if I don't have the right combination or the right balance. So is that really me? Or because it was medically induced, is that not really me? And when I am overconfident and having all this grandiosity and I'm better than you and I'm going to write a mini series and it's going to be made into a TV show, and which actors I better go online right now and find the actors that I want, and how will I choose between this one and that one, and what's their backlog? Can they handle something as important as my work to act in? Like, this is how your mind goes when you're, and okay, I need to be really successful. Well, quick, the people that I like the most, who are the most successful, what do they look like? I better go and start dressing like them. I better dye my hair like them. I need some red hair dye, even though I never wanted to dye my hair red. I better go do that right now. Is that me? And then after I've crashed and I'm depressed for a week and I want to kill myself, and then I'm feeling guilty because I have this beautiful family and I want to kill myself even though I have this beautiful family, and it just doesn't matter. Like, is that really me? Which is me. And then the worst part about it is then you go back to normal and you're just kind of you. And it's like, you're grateful you're not depressed anymore, and you're grateful you're not that high anymore. But you remember all of it. It's not like you don't remember and it goes away. So then you're thinking about all those things you were going to do, and you're kind of kicking yourself in the ass and going, okay, well, I should be able to do that now. I'm fixed now, right? I'm fine now. So I should be able to, okay, maybe it won't be made into a mini series and maybe I don't need red hair, but I should be able to write this book, and get that published, no problem, right? That should be a snap. I'm not suicidal anymore. So it's like, you compare yourself constantly to these different versions of you. And it's kind of hard to tell sometimes where you end off. And I know intellectually that it's all me. And it's almost like different roles of you or different personalities that you might encompass or whatever. But it's just like those thoughts, like that confidence, was that me? Am I capable of that if I'm not manic? Because I'm not gonna lie, there are times, most of the time when I'm up, I'm really anxious and I get really scared, and I don't like it. So I want to come down, but I know when I come down that I'm gonna crash and it's gonna be really bad depression, and I'm probably gonna be suicidal again, or at the very least I'm gonna really struggle to look after my family and to go about my life. It's gonna be really hard. So who wants that? And then there's times when you're really low that you almost wish that you could have been high because you wouldn't be this low. You're always trying to find the good in wherever you are. And there are a lot of people who really like their highs and will abuse their medication. And I'm not gonna lie, I've thought of it sometimes where it's like, okay, I'm on this good combination right now, but sometimes you start to feel a little flat, you know, and you're like, well, what if I just skipped? What if I just played with it a little bit? What if I just skipped my antipsychotic for like 2 or 3 days? Then like, what would happen then? Maybe I would go up a little bit, right? But then what if you go up too far, or what if you go the other way, you know, and then you're in a mess.
What was the reason that Stephen Fry? So Stephen Fry is bipolar. If you know who Stephen Fry is, he's a quite a famous British actor, comedian, host, that sort of thing. He says that he doesn't take his medication anymore because he doesn't like it, and a lot of people who are bipolar. He has a pretty good documentary where he goes and speaks to a lot of people who are bipolar, and that's what really made you realize that you had it, right?
That's what I saw. Yeah. The secret life of the manic depressive.
Yeah. By the way, someone asked earlier, like, why I don't take my medication anymore. It just wasn't doing enough for me. It wasn't really working. My medication was very, very light. It was just to combat daytime sleepiness. And the daytime sleepiness isn't really that big of an issue for me. My issue as with the sleep disorder is more about the insomnia. So they thought that maybe it could help if I was less sleepy during the day, that maybe I could sleep better at night, but it didn't work. So I just stopped taking it. It just wasn't worth it. And there was some other medication I was taking that was giving me like heart palpitations. So I just stopped taking that too. It just wasn't worth it. This was a long time ago though. Anyway, sorry, what was the reason why Stephen Fry said that he didn't want to take his medication? Do you remember?
I think, wasn't it just that it made him
numb?
Flat?
Yeah.
On lithium, I was taking lithium and Wellbutrin for a while. Wellbutrin was what they put me on originally to diagnose me. And I was in a really good combination for like a year with the lithium, and then I unbalanced for like 6 weeks. My doctor was on vacation, and I was just in like a hypomanic state. It was functionable, like I could go to work. But after working like a 9-hour shift, I would rush home, you know, and I'd be walking, and it was winter, and I remember there was ice, and I was like trying to run through the ice because I had so much energy that I was just like, gotta do something about it. Thoughts racing all the time. Are they figuring out what's wrong with me at work all the time? Like, it was just so much anxiety. And after that, they took the Wellbutrin away, and they put me on 2 stabilizers at the same time, and it was the flattest I've ever felt. Like, I felt so numb that whole time.
Have you? I think maybe you have felt this way, but I can't remember. I know that you there's been quite a few moments of close to psychosis that you've told me that you've had. Have you ever thought that you're in a place and that everyone can hear what you're thinking?
I said that too already. I just said a little bit before.
But on top of that, it's specifically everyone can hear what you're thinking, but in a way that they're out to get you. Like they're like the whole world is stalking you. Because I know you get that. And I know you get the bright lights. Okay, so you don't get that. So
I didn't get that everyone was. I felt like they were judging me, and that they knew, and they were like. They were judging me. They were mocking me that I couldn't get my shit together.
Gang
it was
stalking.
That kind of feeling.
That's it. Yeah.
But I wasn't feeling stalked or like I was in danger. I just felt judged.
Yeah, gang stalking. I recently found out about gang stalking, and there's a subreddit on Reddit of all places, where apparently there's a group of people who think that they're being gang stalked, and other people that don't think they're being gang stalked, but they want to encourage people, and it's it's really dangerous. Like they're sitting around just convincing each other, like, hey, yeah, you are being gang stalked. Here's the deal, and there's a real worry that they're gonna fucking get someone killed. Like they're like someone's gonna be like, oh shit, like this is a real thing now because of this support on of this gang stalking community.
Be very careful with mental health support. I think you get too many like-minded people in one spot, and a few unstable people can convince another unstable person of many things. You have to be very careful with what you say and how you say it.
That's why I love the internet, and I love how it can bring marginalized groups together, marginalized people together into a group, and they can like have a sense of solidarity, and they can work together to make life better for themselves, and hopefully eventually change society and have society be more accepting of them. But the problem is also there's a lot of people who are ill that can come together and just make themselves even more ill together. And it's wow, I was up there, wasn't I? And that's kind of scary. It's also scary that destructive groups can come together and they can end up feeding into each other, and it gets even worse. But that's a whole other thing.
Yeah, but the numbness for me was. When I went to him and I said I want to have a baby, and this is when we're gonna try and have Finn, and I went to him and he said, well, you're on lithium, it's birth defects, you shouldn't be on medication. So instead of suggesting something else, which I still don't understand, he's just said, we're gonna taper off your medication and you're just gonna go without the medication for the pregnancy. It's better for the baby. And I was so numb from the lithium and the other medication that I was like, yeah, let's do it, because like I actually wanted. I knew what they felt like, and yet it was still better to me than the kind of numbness of what I was already taking. And then when I was halfway, I stayed off of it until I was like 6 months pregnant with Leo, and then my doctor, who was looking after me for the pregnancy, wasn't even a psychiatrist. He said to me, "You need something, and your mental health is really suffering, and it doesn't have to be, and it's going to be worse after the baby's born when you're not sleeping and stuff. So there are other things you could be taking right now that are safe, and that's what I've been on ever since, is this new combination of medication that was safe to have while pregnant. And they've played with my dosage a bit over the years, but like I said, it's not working perfectly anymore. I still cycle on it, but it's more or less manageable, and I'm scared to play with it too much or try something new and then have to go through the whole process again of finding something that might work for me when this is still technically, I do still see improvement. So for all of you out there who might be thinking, about taking medication and you're not sure, or you're scared of that, I'm going to feel so numb, I'm going to not feel anything anymore, I'm not going to feel like myself anymore. There's so many medications and combinations and dosages out there that I wouldn't worry. And worst case scenario is you try something and it's not working out for you, then you go back and you say, this isn't working for me, I want something else, or I don't want anything. It doesn't have to be lithium, like it doesn't have to be something that can have that effect, or it could be as a dosage of lithium or a combination. When I was taking it with the other thing, the Wellbutrin, I didn't feel so flat. I felt pretty good. So I know that's a concern for a lot of people with medication, for like psychiatric medication, is I'm gonna lose myself, and I don't feel lost when I take it. I don't feel like I'm not me. I have trouble with the leftovers of the depression and the hypomania or whatever, of, was that me, and was she right? Like that's I guess what it all comes down to all the time. I wonder if she was right. Was she right when she said I could handle all this stuff and I'm just not able to handle it now, like because I'm weak, or I'm stupid, or I'm unprepared, or I don't have my shit together, and that snowballs pretty fast. Or was she right when she said that everything is shit and you're a terrible mother and you're a terrible person and everyone hates you and why are you here? Was she right? Or are neither of them right? Or are both of them right? Or, like that's I guess for me, for the question, that's the hardest part, are my thoughts. Which one is the real one? Because they go against each other a lot. But intellectually, I know they're all me. It just gets to me sometimes. Like, it's pretty obvious a lot of the time when I'm, like Joe said already, like I see like flashing lights and stuff, like colors look too vivid, and off the medication I get like a chanting in my head instead of almost like a singing. My thoughts sing to me. So it's pretty clear most of the time when I am having an episode, but there are a lot of times where I start to, my hands start shaking or my legs start shaking or I start talking really fast, or I guess I get this kind of look to me or whatever that Joe can tell before I know that it's coming, that it's starting. And a lot of times he'll say to me too, are you up? And I'm like, no, I'm fine. I'm just feeling a little agitated or whatever. And sometimes it's hard to tell which way you're about to go, But yeah, I don't know. I hope that answers your question. I feel like I went on a tangent, but it's just that there's so little known about it. Like I said, they diagnose you with one thing, but they don't really explain it, and they don't.
I think that's the problem with all sort of invisible illnesses like you and I have. I don't consider narcolepsy a mental illness. I don't know what it would be apart from just calling it a sleep disorder. But even when I was diagnosed, no one spoke to me about it. No one sat me down and was like, okay, this is what you have. This is what it's going to be like. Here's what you should do. It's just like, oh, you have this here. Go have this other test and like maybe take this medication and that's it. And I don't know if it's just bad healthcare or if it's just the assumption that you're going to go and look up stuff by yourself. But I don't like looking up stuff by myself when I don't have a baseline knowledge of it, because like I'm not a doctor, so like I don't know what all these things are.
I went into the psychiatrist and I said to him after a while, I think it was after that 6-week episode that I had, and I said to him, because there's bipolar 1 that has worse mania and it has psychosis, and it has less depression, less severe depression. And there's bipolar 2 that has more severe depression and more risk of suicide, but they don't get the psychosis. They don't have the worst mania. And you only need one manic or hypomanic episode to be diagnosed. So like it only has to happen to you once. So it's like we didn't do a full history, so it's like I'm supposed to be bipolar 2 because I have the worst depression and I don't have the psychosis. But we've never sat down and went through and we're like, okay, well, is that technically psychosis or what's that? And like, so I read things about people with bipolar 1 and I'm like, well, I have that. And then I read things with bipolar 2 and I'm like, I have that. And then I go to him and I'm like, I'm supposed to be having like 4 episodes a year maximum, and I'm having them like every month. So, oh, you rapid cycle. Okay, I rapid cycle. What the hell is rapid cycle? You know, so it's like you go to see a new doctor and you're just kind of regurgitating what your diagnosis is. They don't check on you. They don't call the other doctor and say, "Is this correct?"
Like it's not even like rapid cycle is a medical term for having more than 4 like changes a month. Like to
There's
me,
also ultra rapid,
yeah,
rapid, like ultra.
4 changes a month isn't exactly fucking like I wouldn't describe that as rapid, right? That doesn't sound like rapid to me. Means like you're changing every day. You know what I mean? Like
well, any more than 4 times a year is rapid cycle. So what happens when it's every month?
Yeah,
is that still rapid cycle, or is that they don't tell you any of this? So then you read stuff on the internet, and then you're like, well, that sounds like me, but that might be me, and I don't know who I am, and I don't know what this means, and I don't know what I have, and you know, and it makes you feel even more out of control, in my case anyway, because not only can you not control your moods, and you can't control your thoughts, and you know, like you're just swinging all the time from one into the other, but you don't even really know what you have, you know, and like what's happening to you, because no one really. I went to see a psychiatrist here, and she gave me the most thorough history that, you know, she's ever taken, like, has anyone's ever taken from me. But even she didn't explain anything to me. And she just kind of nodded when I would say things and made her notes and said to me, what's your prescription you're on? Can I see the bottles? And I gave her the bottles, and she said, okay, I'll see you in 6 months. Like, call me if you need me. But in the meantime, you're pretty stable right now. So, you know, go about your business. So that's, you know, that's pretty much how it is here for mental issues, you know. My other psychiatrist was the same. So you'd go in to see him, you'd wait like an hour to see him, and then you'd be in there for 15 minutes, and he'd say to you, have you been depressed? Have you been suicidal? Have you had any mania? Okay, let me write you. Is there anything you want to talk about? And usually there wasn't, because what do you talk about when you're being rushed through like that? And then here's your prescription, and I'll see you in however many months, you know. So it's a bit confusing.
Yeah, and the what I meant by the rapid cycling thing is also that the medical term makes it sound like a lot different than what those words typically mean, right? So without the explanation, it's like it's a real confusing kind of thing when they don't go into it. Someone said something about how they.
Oh, there was something I wanted to say, but I saw it before.
Someone said something they were on medication and made it worse for bipolar.
I don't know. I didn't see that.
It was quite far up. Hold on. Here you go. From Ken and Inspector.
I was prescribed sertraline for my bipolar, and I made everything about the experience worse. It gave me those uncontrollable highs like you described earlier, and it really didn't stop me from feeling down. It just stopped me from feeling anything while I was there. You have every gram of my sympathy, because sometimes I ask myself those questions too. Is the up me really me, or the down me? I'm sorry you have to deal with this awful disease, but I'm glad you found a good doctor. I'm sorry for you too. I will say, were you only taking the sertraline? Because like I haven't been on that many medications, but I do know that there's like the SSRIs or you know, they're supposed to be really not bad, you know, really bad for bipolar. And I was taking stuff like that before, and it would send me into these mini highs, and I didn't realize what was happening. So after like a week of being on them and feeling worse, I would just stop taking them all the time and then not go back to the doctor for a long time after that, because I was scared of what they were going to give me next. So I learned that like if you're not taking a stabilizer, or you're not taking it seems like you need an antidepressant to get you out of the depression, but you need something that has like a ceiling on it so that you don't go any higher than your ceiling. And with the lithium, I found the ceiling was even lower. And I feel like I'm taking Abilify right now, and I think I'm on like the lowest dose, and I don't really need anything more than that. Like I have very few highs now, and they're not as bad as they usually are when I do have them. But maybe try something that's a more modern drug, and you need a good balance between the two. You need an antidepressant to keep you up, but you need something to keep you from going too up. So they told me I was bipolar since I'm professionally diagnosed, but he gave me such an yeah. I don't know about those two. I didn't take those two. I would switch doctors, or I would at least get a second opinion, and I would be honest about it. I would go in and say I'm feeling worse than I was feeling before, and you just, yeah. I'm reading what you're saying. Heart medication interacts badly. Yeah, you just you need to find something that goes together well, that fits. You know, that's all it really is. It's just Wellbutrin and lithium for me, great. Wellbutrin is a stimulant. A lot of people use it to quit smoking, apparently. So it's an antidepressant, but it's also a stimulant. So it gives you that energy boost. But for me, it's too much of an energy boost if I don't take it with something. With lithium, good. Lithium and lamotrigine, very, very bad. Very, very, very bad. Like, I felt worse on that than on anything. And then now Wellbutrin again, and Abilify. And Abilify is a newer drug. And I'm really, like I said, maybe the Wellbutrin could be a little bit higher, but I'm also scared that what if it's too high and then they have to raise the Abilify, and then do I really want to do that? And can I just make this work a little bit longer, you know, without having to change medications or anything like that? But I would be honest with the doctor, and I would say this isn't working for me, because like there's so many out there, you know, like you could be on something right now that could be working for you and make you feel so much better, and instead, you know, you're just scared, you know, and I totally understand being scared. And there was somebody else too that said something that was lengthy, and I was in the middle of the answer and I didn't want to. Sarasperilla. Lili, I have been struggling with depression since I was 10, and you don't know how inspiring it is to see someone who struggles with mental illness have such a beautiful life. Most success stories treat mental illness like something that they have gotten over, but the fact that you still live with it brings me a lot of hope for the future. I hope I can live like you someday, and that you can keep living your life. Thank you so much for saying that, and
it's a nice comment.
It's a very nice comment, and it's something that doesn't go away. It becomes part of who you are, and it becomes part of how you live your life, but it can become very manageable. You just have to make adjustments, and you have to expect kind of like flare-ups like you would with any illness, I guess, like any like long-term illness. But if you get on the right medication, or even if you find a good therapist, someone you can talk to, some recommend and some don't. Like for me, they never really recommended it because I don't have a whole lot of triggers. But if there are things in your environment triggering you, that just makes it worse, right? So it's definitely very doable to find a balance and to be able to live your life mostly well. You'll still have issues, and you'll still have to overcome them, and it's still a daily problem for me, but compared to how I was 10 years ago, I'm much better and much more stable now than I was. And it helps if you have a good support system. Like I have Joe, who can tell sometimes that I'm off before I even know I'm off, you know, and I think that says a lot, you know, about our relationship, that he can tell that about me so quickly. And then he can support me, and you know, he kind of knows what things to kind of say to me when I'm like that, you know, to kind of keep me calm so I don't completely feel like I'm losing it. But having kids is like the worst and the like best thing that ever happened to me, because I have to get up and I have to live now, you know. I can't, and I don't want them to see me upset, and I don't want them to see that I'm struggling, but at the same time I can't hide it either. So I've had to kind of find a balance between them, you know. Like Finn understands that I'm sick sometimes, you know, and he's very, very sweet about it and very supportive.
He's a good boy.
You know, he's only 4, and he'll come and he'll give me hugs and like tell me he loves me, and you know, like stuff like that. He's a very sweet boy, and but it's hard. I'm not gonna lie. Like you can't just stay in bed all day now and just not get up. You know, like there's no more sick days once you have kids like that. That part's over. So it's like the best thing that I ever did because it's given me something beyond myself to look forward to and to live for now. But at the same time, you're committed now. You know what I mean? Like there's no easy out now, you know, or no easy. I'm just not gonna live today. I'm just gonna exist. You know. So yeah, I hope Firebug that helped you at all. I don't know if it did or not, but I feel I went on for a while, so I hope you extracted something from that. And if you're ever in a similar situation and you want to send me a message asking me something specific about medication or bipolar, you can do that.
I don't want to be back here. No.
Like I said earlier, I'm not a counselor and I can't help everybody as much as I would love to. And I didn't have a whole lot of help myself when I was younger, so that's what it is. It's that I want to help everybody, you know. It's just I just can't help it. It's if there's something that I could do that makes listening, you know, that would make me help them, then I don't want to say no. But bipolar is something that I can say for myself at least.
So far this is new babe plus. And I gotta tell you, this is a lot more frustrating than the other one.
I'm not bipolar, but I might have to take antidepressants in the near future. It was more hypothetical that I thought was interesting. It is very interesting, I think, too. And like I said, you hit it right on the nose, so I think there's probably a lot of people that feel that way, too. It's not so much the medication that makes me feel that way, it's just the thoughts. It's the illness itself, and the medication can, for me, with bipolar, can bring out, like, it can bring it on, it can trigger it. So I would say antidepressants I've had a good experience with overall, as long as it's the right dosage and the right combination for you. And if it's not, you just keep trying until you find one. Thank you for talking so openly about it. No problem.
Joe is not mad, never mad. Cool as a cucumber in the snow. Cool as a cucumber in the snow.
It's not that brave, Canon Inspector. Thank you for thinking it is, but it's way harder to talk about it at the beginning, and it's way harder to talk about it with people face to face and stuff and in real life. And it's not as scary sitting here right now talking to 400 plus people and just reading your comments and just being in a safe room in my safe house in my safe city. You know what I mean? Like it's there's like degrees of brave. So as brave as this seems, it's like it's been a long time of me talking about it gradually. So like now that I feel more comfortable that I can kind of come out with it more. But there are people in my family that don't even know I'm bipolar. It was always, my mom wanted it hush hush. She was kind of embarrassed about it, I think, or ashamed. So she never wanted anybody to know. I guess it was like a parental failure. So there are a lot of people who know me and, you know, I see at functions and stuff, and they have no idea. So you guys know more about me than my own relatives in a lot of ways. So
it's not even the worst person who doesn't know. The worst person who doesn't know is Kate. We see her all the time. She doesn't know.
She might know. She might have an inkling.
What an awful baby.
When I
knowing.
hug the baby and cry sometimes, she might have you know, I should be the one who's crying, Mommy, not you, right? That's what babies do, right?
She's a good baby.
A lot of people I'm around don't really think of it as real. I think it's hard for people to understand when they haven't been in it. And that sounds kind of like a cop-out in a way, but my mother has like depression and anxiety and stuff, but she took an antidepressant, but she never really did too much in terms of talk therapy, and she never really did too much in terms of dealing with environmental reasons why she was feeling this way. Like it always seemed to be related to events. It didn't seem to be related to just a random chemical thing. But she thought we were exactly the same. And it was really hard for me to try to make her understand that I get the depression, Mom, and I get the anxiety, but I'm hearing chanting in my head right now and the lights are flashing and you don't understand that. And she would be like, I read the books, honey, I get it. And then she'd say something to me like, after Finn was born, she said to me, oh, you're still having that? I thought that the pregnancy hormones might have cured that. So I guess she didn't read a book on that. So it's hard sometimes when people that are close to us don't get it, but they think they get it, or they don't think it's real, or they don't understand the extent of it. And it can be really, really upsetting, you know? So I get that.
Someone's waiting for me to scream when I get angry when I fall. It's never going to happen.
Can't scream or he'll wake up whatever kid is sleeping, which is probably Leo. I don't know if the other two are.
It's never going to happen. Cool as a cucumber. You're not going to get that kind of scootin' Freude from me. Don't worry.
Pregnancy hormones make it worse, and postpartum makes it worse. Like you're so much more risk for being hospitalized. And she was like, yeah, it's probably nothing. Lily, but thank you so much for discussing this. Thank you so much. I've been struggling with depression and ADHD since I was in my early teens, maybe longer, and I still question things like, should I tell my psych to change meds? Because I can still be very depressed and tired and lacking motivation a lot of the time, but I'm so much more stable than I was 10 years ago, and I don't know. It's nice to know none of us are alone in all this. Sorry for rambling. You're not rambling, and I know exactly. That's how I feel right now, is like they're not working perfectly, but they're working, right? So do you really want to mess with like working good enough? Or then there's part of me that thinks, well, what if you were so much better and you could get closer to a more sane version of that productive manic girl, Most relatives that know about my issues tell me with goodwill to be brave and other things to that effect. I appreciate the sentiment, but them saying that makes me feel guilty about me not being able to be brave. Then I feel guilty for not feeling good when they are trying to make me feel good, and then it goes into a cycle. It's this farting devil.
Well, that's the...
Do you get up, though?
That's the problem, though, right?
You're still here.
People being supportive makes you feel even worse, right?
Makes you feel worse because you feel like you don't deserve it. In my case, anyway. It makes you feel like you're ungrateful. It makes you feel like, well, if they're so good to me and I feel like this, well, like I'm not keeping up my end in some way, like I have Joe, I have my kids. What do I have to complain about? Like why am I like this? I'm just some stupid, ungrateful bitch who doesn't know how lucky she has it. You know what I mean? So it's, for what you're saying, I just feel like being brave, like what is being brave? Is being brave sitting here talking to you right now? Well, I'm not depressed today and I'm not manic today. I feel okay today. So would it be braver if I was depressed or manic and I was sitting here talking to you about it? Or like what does that mean, Brave enough to talk about it, but that can come in degrees, like that's a comfort issue, and it's you being comfortable enough and finding the words even to put into words something that you might not understand, and you can have had it your whole life and I still don't understand sometimes. And I've had it since I was like 11 years old that I've been depressed and suicidal, and I'm going to be 34 this year. And I still don't have it together, I still haven't totally made my peace with it. The only person that I knew when I was growing up who was bipolar, I found out after she killed herself. So does that tell you a whole lot about my experience with bipolar and why I didn't want to go and have anyone diagnose me with it? Because I was so scared that being bipolar was like a life sentence that meant, that you will die, like this is it for you. Good luck. And you hear all the scary things about the medication, how it changes you and makes you numb, and then I'd be like, well, is it really that bad? Maybe I can just deal with a little bit more. What is being brave? Was it brave of me all those years to not talk about it and to not get help? Or was that just me being scared? Was that me being stupid? Was that me being like, what was that? Like, being brave, I think, means something different to everybody, and I think it comes degree by degree. And I just feel like if you got up today and you're here right now and you're living your life every single day and you're doing your best, that's pretty fucking brave. And you should be really, really proud of yourself, because some people don't even do that, and some people can't even do that. And there are people right now that are like in a mental hospital, in the mental ward of a hospital, and they were brave enough to be in there right now getting help. And they probably don't feel very brave, They probably feel anything but brave, but they're so brave, because that would scare me so much to have to be in that situation. So if you don't think you're brave and you're dealing with bipolar, or I saw someone has an eating disorder who had an eating disorder, you're depressed, you're anxious, you're self-harming, like you have an alcohol or a drug problem, like you're coming, it doesn't matter what you have. It's all the same. If you have a sleep disorder and you can't sleep every night and every night is just the same thing, you're so brave. That's it. Don't let anybody make you feel, don't let anybody take that from you. That's yours. You define it. They don't get to define it. They can define their own life and their own problems. That's all I have to say. I guess that's how I feel. I feel you're very brave. You should be very proud.
Good job. Unless you're a weeb.
Well, that's a whole other thing, isn't it?
Was that Firebug's second question?
That was the second question. Firebug is done.
Okay. You're done.
You're done.
You're done. It's a Lili stream now. Did you see someone say that? It's a Lili stream now.
Yeah, Lili went on a rant, so
it's okay.
It became a Lili stream.
These streams are as much yours as they are mine. Okay, so let's
I was gonna say, how are you spelling that? And then I saw that you can see it.
Yeah, I can see it. Yeah. Let's answer. Did I spell it right? I think so. Right. So let's say thank you to some people and then answer these questions, and I think we'll be done for the night. Because we're already over time, and I don't know about you, but it's really hot in here.
I'm
I think.
sweating.
Yeah. So I think it's just 3, starting with Athena. Thank you, it's just Athena for the 500 bits. Tifa or Aerith, and yes, it's Aerith Boomer. Wow, how dare you call me a boomer? Back when it came out first time, it wasn't Aerith, it was Ares when I played Final Fantasy VII. I like both, but I think I would probably be slightly on the side of Team Tifa. I think I prefer Tifa overall to Aerith or Ares. Just too many nice memories of Tifa to deny. Sorry. I think it's pretty split between the two of them, right? Thank you for that question on the bits. It's just Athena. Thank you, Double Chris P. #bacon for the 913 sub with Hoy. Hoy, Double Crispy, thank you very much. Happy New Year. Should still be saying that.
Yeah, probably.
Thank you, Shadow Yuri, for the 12-month sub. Welcome to the 1 Year Club, Shadow Yuri. My neighbor woke me up by having intercourse with a robot from the 80s, so I finally catch your stream and share my sub message. Love you, miss you during your break, heart. Thank you, Shadow Yuri. Welcome to the 1 Year Club again, and Happy New Year. And why is he having intercourse with a robot from the 80s? Is it a Dalek?
It's not something you hear every day, you know?
Yeah, it's not.
If you scream, you can have my child.
I'm not gonna scream. Although this is really frustrating. This is a lot more frustrating than the original. There's just something really, really bad about not being able to move to plan your jumps. It seems very like they're amping up the frustration on purpose, which, you know, that's the whole point of the game, right? But yeah, this is pretty bad.
Okay, but do we get to name the child?
And last but not least on my list is Ethan Mathu for the new sub right now. Welcome to Dragon's Den. Welcome to the Rub a Dub sub club, Ethan Mathu. Clawfist. So we're going to answer Surplexius' questions, and if there's a quick one on Patreon, we'll go over to Patreon real quick and we'll answer that one. But you know what? Actually, I think we're going to be done. Sorry. Like, we just answered Discord questions today because some of them ended up being quite long and heavy. So we'll answer this one and then we'll
next
come
week
back.
We'll just be all Patreon.
Yeah. So whenever you're ready, Lily Bell.
Surplexiest?
Yep.
Maybe?
Yep, that's it.
Hey Joe and Lily, trying to write up questions after playing on the J Andy Minecraft server for about 12 hours, so forgive me if this is poorly put together.
I'm glad you're enjoying the Minecraft server.
I started watching your content after you were on TB's podcast back in the day, and since then I haven't seen you show up in anything else aside from when Internet Historian mentioned your Fallout 76 glitch video. I have been wondering what your opinion on doing guest appearances on podcasts and other crossover type content is. You are quite well spoken and you play research a lot of games, so I think that you'd make a great guest on gaming podcasts.
Was that, is that the end of the question?
Well, it's another unrelated question, so
Okay,
we'll stop
so
there.
all right, so I was pretty uncomfortable on the Caution podcast. I think that's pretty clear if you go and watch it. Like I was very, very, very much out of my element. I do regret. Okay, can I say this? I think I could say. No one said I couldn't say this. So, when you go on the Caution podcast, which it might be completely different now that Jenna is running it. You know, like we all showed up in the in the program, and you know it was just me and TB briefly together at the beginning before Jesse and Dodger showed up, and there was a lot of like mic checks and everything like that, and like Jesse and Dodger showed up like really like right before we went live, pretty much, you know, like they made like 5 minutes or so before. That's how I remember it anyway. Like it was like there was a little bit of, hey, like, nice to meet you, blah 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 blah, and then it's just like right into the show, and it's just kind of like, whoa, holy shit, you know what I mean? Like so it was quite uncomfortable. I think for what I went like first kind of podcast ever, I think that probably was too high profile, and I was really out of my element, and at the end of it, when it was all done, like because like Jesse and Dodger just left immediately too, you know. It's just like because TB has some like had some like post show stuff to finish up, but it's just like, okay, like I have to go to this, I have this thing next, and this other thing I have to get to is like, okay, but it was just like a whirlwind, kind of like, whoa, okay, like there's no like come down at the end or anything either, and I was like in this position where I was like, okay, do I just leave too? You know, like is that what happens? Do I just go? And I don't know, I feel like that kind of awkwardness has kind of stayed with me a little bit afterwards, where I'm just, I don't know, it's not something I'm really comfortable doing, and like the whole thing we spoke about last week about, like, you know, should people even listen to me, blah 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 blah. So it makes it hard to seek that sort of thing out. There have been offers I've had like multiple times to go on different podcasts. Oh shit, Internet Historian even wanted to do something with me. Fuck, I should message him about that. I've spoken to him since then too. Fuck. I told him I would speak to him about it after like I could stream again, and I didn't. Shit. Anyway, so I'll talk to him about that. And like just little things like that. I don't know, like when I talk to other YouTubers who are around the same size as I am in terms of sub count, or a little bit more, or sometimes way higher than me, you know, it's all the same thing to me. It's like, okay, like I don't want to waste your time. Let me just quickly talk to you and be like, on my way, blah blah blah. You know what I mean? Like it's very I'm very aware of that kind of presence. So I don't know. I guess I should do it more. I don't know.
It's hard with the kids though.
Yeah, it's hard to schedule it too. That's the other part of it.
Time here, like they don't guarantee any quiet or any lack of interruption, you know. Like with the stream, you know, like I can come and interrupt, but like if you're on a podcast with somebody else, I can't, you know. So it's also a little bit more nerve-wracking. Yeah, it's also the problem of like, yeah, if anything ever did go wrong and I had to leave, I wouldn't want to be in that position. But that can happen to anyone, of course. It could happen to anyone, but with the amount of young kids that we have, it's you know, like we're I think, come on, how many times a day does Leo get hurt? You know what I mean? Like,
exactly. So like we're in a somewhat unique situation here with having so many young kids, like even people who have more than two
and
kids,
our setup here too,
so young.
like you're like, if I have to put Kate for nap or something, you know what I mean, like you're right next to the crib, you know, so it's like you're not even in an office removed somehow from all of the noise making, you know. Maybe when they're older you could do more, you know, when it's a little bit less chaotic, maybe.
Probably.
But right now,
Yeah.
I think it would be a bit hard.
I don't think going on the caution was a bad experience, by the way. I don't think any of what I just said is bad. It was just weird. It was like, oh wow, okay. Like I was already so uncomfortable, right? So it was kind of like, oh, all right. So this was not a bad experience. It was just a very very odd experience. So that's what I mean by that. Sorry, maybe I wasn't clear enough. I'm just seeing some things in chat right now. Finn on a gaming podcast. Yeah, but maybe. I would like to have my own podcast. Maybe that would be a good way to ease into it.
It's kind of already a podcast.
Huh?
This is kind of already a podcast.
Kinda, yeah.
Because we go off for so long about topics.
The Q&A podcast. Maybe we should stop the Q&As and just do a podcast instead.
Maybe. I could have my own podcast, and it could be called Lili Talks ... and Talks.
I think that also, I feel, I don't know why, because I stream so much, so I shouldn't feel this way, but I kind of feel like most people don't give a shit about what I have to say outside of the videos. Streaming can also hinder this as well, because a lot of the times when I say stuff about games and media on stream, there's usually a much stronger negative reaction to it. I think that most of you have seen something like that happen in the past, so it's kind of like it makes me almost want to be like, okay, well, if I'm not going to have this very like measured, well, like wrought out response, then I guess I just shouldn't talk, and the podcast is more like is inviting more stuff like that, and it just doesn't seem to be my strength. But I don't know, maybe it's expectations, or maybe that's just how it is for everyone, and you just get over it, you know. Maybe my first podcast guest should be Bennett Foddy. I should ask him about that.
I want you to get mad. Get mad, get mad,
get mad, get mad, get mad, get mad, get mad. Nah, I'm not gonna get mad. Sorry. I'm not gonna get mad. I think we're gonna get done though. All right, I think that's all I can say. What's the next question from Surplexius?
Another unrelated question is, what kind of magic, hard or soft, systems do you like in novels? Personally, I always feel better about hard magic systems, but the longer the story, the more they fall apart. I feel like soft magic systems can cause get-out-of-jail-free situations in the writing or in the narratives, which can make some powerful moments ruined because they just solve it with the soft magic system, reviving a dead character before it's established that it's possible. Thanks for all of the content, and sorry about all of the weebs.
It's okay, don't worry. The weebs are sorry about that too. So I talk about magic in the Witcher video, hard and soft magic systems briefly. I also talk about low and high fantasy. So I prefer hard magic systems. The magic system that I have in my fantasy series is a mostly hard magic system. So in case anyone is unfamiliar, a hard magic system is when the magic system is described enough that the reader can understand what is possible, what the limits are, what the rules are, and it can be used to solve problems in a way that feels very fair to the readers. So it's treating magic more as a science. So if a book has a hard magic system and then out of nowhere they just have a new spell that doesn't follow the same amount of rules as the other magic system just to get them out of a problem, it's kind of like they just pulled crap out of their ass because they wrote themselves into a corner, and the writer is cheating. Whereas a soft magic system is very much like Harry Potter. Harry Potter is a soft magic system where the rules of the magic system are kept away from the reader. They just kind of make things up as they go along. It's a lot more about like rituals and emotions and it just like things can be just made up. That doesn't mean that there aren't moments of hard magic system like in Harry Potter, and just like there can't be moments of soft magic system in a book that otherwise has a hard system. Like they can mix and match. It depends on how it's done, as always. But I prefer a hard magic system because I prefer literature or stories to have rules and stakes that I can understand instead of it just being, hey, we're just going to make this shit up as we go along. That's what I prefer to have. I will say that I am way more willing for soft magic to have to be used by the antagonists. But this depends on the kind of story that it is. My view of antagonists in stories is that an antagonist should also be a protagonist. It's just that you don't get to see their side of the story. Like that's the way you should write your antagonist. It should just be that everyone is the protagonist of their own story. Really, it's not just like I'm limiting myself here, but like that's how I think every character should be written. Every character should be written of the protagonist of their own story that you're not even seeing. But if you're seeing it from the perspective of a protagonist and the antagonist is there to do what traditional antagonists do, then it's fine to have like a softer magic system and even some coincidences and even some ass pulls in order to get the protagonist into trouble. So my view on coincidences and stuff like that in stories is actually that they're forgivable and even like a good thing if they exist to get the heroes into more trouble and to raise the stakes, but they can never be used in order to get them out of trouble. That's when it becomes kind of cheap and cheating. Like if you want your characters to get out of a problem later on, you need to set it up. You need to like put the work in to be like, hey, this is how they're going to get out of this problem. You just didn't realize it yet, and that's why hard magic systems are some of my favorite. Star Wars is the Force in Star Wars is a soft magic system, but a lot of people seem to think that it's a hard magic system, and then you get into all these problems of like, oh wow, like how are they able to do that? How are they able to do this? It's like no, like you don't understand. Like this is a soft magic system. Like this is how it works. You know, this is basically Harry Potter, and if you don't understand that, then you're gonna have a bad time, and you're gonna make really really long YouTube videos about it. I think that the soft magic system working on in favor of the protagonist is also something that's acceptable if it comes with a sacrifice. So if it's like, okay, we're gonna have an ass pull, but you're gonna pay, so that can also work. So there are different ways to do it, but this is more talking about like genre fiction and stuff, and it's interesting. I really like genre fiction, but so there's gonna be some amount of cheese into it, of course. But yeah, that's how I view magic, and I prefer hard magic systems. What do you think, Lily?
I don't really I don't have enough experience, I think, with like the witch stories and stuff that I read are
they soft?
Pretty soft, yeah.
Yeah.
It's more like there's a character who happens to be a witch. You know, it's not about like the whole world and how it works, and you know, it's a witchy Mary Sue. You know, like and that's what I like about it. It's simple.
I think you can't call them Mary Sues anymore.
No,
you have to call them Rays.
But I haven't seen enough Star Wars.
I don't make the rules.
Mary Rays or just
just Rays? Yeah.
Witchy Rays?
Yeah, they're just called Rays.
Well, you know, these beautiful, intelligent, successful, you know, amazing women, but they happen to be witches. You know, like those are the kind of witches in books that I've read.
Are they sexy witches?
Of course.
Oh, nice. Where are these books in the house?
Or they're like Anne Rice's witches. But even that didn't establish the world. It was more in a historical context. Like as you went generation by generation, there was like each witch, and how she fit into that time period pretty much more than in the world of their making. So yeah, I don't think I've read anything that's like hard magic.
Hard magic, yeah.
I think everything's been soft that I've ever read.
It's quite rare. It's really hard to pull off because you want it to come naturally, and you don't want to overload the reader with a bunch of like, here's how the magic system works, blah 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 blah. And the problem is that if you don't do that at the beginning, then you can't really use the magic without it appearing as a soft magic system until later on in the story. It's like without that big huge dump at the beginning, it's like, well, okay, well I can't have magic until it comes out slowly. So
your books were soft magic, right?
No.
Your books were hard magic? Because I read them.
Mostly hard magic, but the magic system in those books is barely explained.
I didn't feel like it was like a big dump though. I felt like
because there's hardly any magic in it.
Because it came, like, I felt like it came gradually. Maybe if, like, you had have finished it, I would have felt that way. Because where it was going felt more like you were going to get into that.
I was trying to make it a hard magic system without a big dump at the beginning, and even then there is kind of like a dump of how it works at the start, despite my best my best efforts otherwise for it to work. In my magic system, wizards and sorceresses and everything have to like grow crystallized tumors inside their own bodies in order to have sources of magic walking around with them all the time. And some of them take that really, really too far, and other ones, like, you couldn't even tell if they want to have the tumors in their bodies or not for to have a source of magic, because there has to be a physical source of magic for them to draw from. They can't just be like, woo, 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 here's the magic. Like they have to have, like, it's all about, like, energy and having the energy on hand. So, like, my main character, like, just carried around gemstones in like a pouch, and he had there's some, like, a material called solite that is sort of like a metal battery for magical power, and you can make stuff out of it, and it can store a large amount of power in it. But necromancers specifically, or especially like to put like tumors in their own bodies to carry on large amounts of magic, that sort of thing. I wanted a magic system that was like obeyed the laws of thermodynamics, like, as much as possible. So yeah, but there's not much magic in that series because it's Wizard and the Dragon, and then it's Monster Slayer series 1 and 2, and that's just like Kate for the whole thing, right? Mm-hmm. Who I now have to rename. And Kate's the main character of Monster Slayer, and she's kind of like Geralt, actually, which is weird, realizing that. Yeah, she's kind of like Geralt, and yeah, but now I have to rename the name because now we have a daughter named Kate, which is a shame because I really liked having that character named Kate. Oh well.
You don't have to, like, I don't know.
No, it's weird. It's weird. I mean, there's a character named Leo.
He's just a very minor character.
Yeah, he's a minor character. He dies right away. Spoilers for my own book. Would it be spoilers to say if the magic tumors can eventually become malignant, cancerous, etc.? I haven't really thought about that much. I'm gonna guess yes. Yeah. Other monsters are the same way. Like dragons, like have the same kind of, like, magical growths inside of them, and most monsters come from overexposure to these magical forces that are in the world. Like they become mutated by being too close to them. Yeah, so that's kind of like my attempt at a hard magic system. Like, I'm pretty good. I'm pretty happy with the magic system in that story, actually, in that world. It ties into the main overarching plot that hasn't started yet either, of like the importance of energy and how a society like this could continue. You know, it would be difficult, and a lot of if they could tap into sources of energy that easily, it'd be easy to exhaust them. And yeah, one day. Anyway, does Sister Practice have another question?
Nope. That was it.
All right, I think we are done. Let me see if I can get up here again. So we beat Jump King. I'm sure we'll beat the DLC one day too, but I think I'm going to take a break. So we're back on Tuesday with Disco Elysium. Anyone looking forward to that? Is that something that, like, fuck yeah, or, like, should I let it go? I don't know. I think I've promised at this point, so we're going to do at least one more week. So we'll see how that goes. I just want to get to the next screen so badly. All right, next time I fall, we're done. I just want to get to the next screen so badly. Like, what's up here? No. Okay. No. 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 No, 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 no. Okay, we're here. Okay. What's on the next screen?
Disco Elysium took me 22 hours and I did every side quest. It's not that long.
Oh, everyone says it's way
Someone
longer
else
than
said it
that.
would take all of January.
Yeah. Okay, we did it. We did it. We did it. Okay, so do we end here or do we do a YOLO jump to see if we can get the bird? Do 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 do.
Does it still count?
It still counts. Still counts. It still counts. All right, what time is it?
4.
Here's the screen for you. Yeah. Screen, please. Okay, I'll screen for you.
Don't you dare wake up the kids or you're staying up with them.
There you go. There you go. All right, thank you, everybody. We'll see you next week for the continuation of the Q&A. And real quick, is there any questions that we were asked repeatedly throughout the stream that we missed? Real quick. Quick questions. We will answer them.
Did you think someone will just come through?
Thank you, JTank27, for the 513 sub. Thank you very much, JTank. Something right at the end. Hope you're aware that we're just about to end. Sorry if not. Thank you very much. 5 months in the Weeb tank.
I didn't do any of them for what I think people.
It's okay. I'm playing
Those
Persona 3
poor
now,
people.
so I'll be ready once you play Persona 5. I had to stop watching live because you caught up to me. Yeah, it took that was long streams. I wonder if Persona 3 and 4 are as long as Persona 5. All right, anyway, see you guys later. Have a good weekend.
See you next week.